Wow-wee. What a game of rugby. Wow, South Africa, amazing. 40, hang on, I've got to write this down, 43-10. Dear Razor, you're useless. Wow-wee. Congratulations, South Africa. What a game. Absolutely brilliant. See, Tony Ball, you get a New Zealander in charge of your backline, you let them play the game. That's what happens, you see. I hope people see it finally. Well, I guess we can say the transition has been effectively made. Absolutely amazing. Nico, how you going? What did you think of that? Wasn't that brilliant? Absolutely fantastic. 36-0 in the second half. Wow. Now we have a rugby championship. Eric B, that's the new Bok team. Yes, it is. And what a brilliant thing to see. Absolutely fantastic for rugby. Francis, Razor not good enough. It's as simple as that. Joshua, they gave our backline no chance. I don't know whose they were, Joshua. I gave you every chance, and you delivered. Potato, not what I was expecting. No? Well, the signs were there. If that backline was going to click, this is what happens. How's it, Mark? Only got bits and pieces at work, but dang, that's some scoreline. It sure was. B-Grow. Absolutely fantastic play by South Africa. Congratulations to every South African watching or who will watch this later on as well. Brilliant stuff. Isaac, Mark, that was shocking in all aspects. I've got a few notes here for the Kiwis. Finlay Christie, useless. Damien McKenzie, useless. Line out, terrible. Scrum, terrible. High ball, terrible. But well done, the Springboks. You did everything brilliantly. And also all the changes that had to be made, right? The Springboks lost how many guys? 5 guys in the first half. The team was decimated. We lost our only decent player, Hotham, and then Christie came on, and that was the end of it. Bite Johnny Codes, hello from Sydney. Hello from Sydney. Hope the celebrations are going well there. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Whoops, what's happening to my camera here? Hang on, folks. I might have to fix this. Cameron K, this is what happens when the All Blacks have 6 fullbacks on the field. Yeah, exactly right. Oh, what's going on? My hang on, guys and girls. I'll just fix the camera for a second. Just make sure I've got this struggling a bit in the light, I think. There we go, that's better. Okay, here we go. Nilis Muller goes to show how the ref robbed the box last week. No, it doesn't. It goes to show how good the Springboks team is when they changed their team to a running game. Mr. Muller, that's what I think. Jasper, do I know my box or do I know my box? Congratulations, Jasper. Fantastic win, my friend. Great game of rugby. 36-0 in the second half. This is going to cause a state of emergency in New Zealand. I have no doubt about it. Here we go. Francis, Razor must go. Let's get Joe Schmidt. Eric B, best game by Visa has played. Outworked the entire AB's back row. He was brilliant. But there were so many brilliant Springboks players in this game. My man, RG Schneemann, came on in the first half. How excited was I? And he was absolutely fantastic in this game. The big arms were going out with the offloads. He was passing them out. Damien Willemse, man of the match for me. He was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant, Damien Willemse. Boy, goodbye, Damien Dearlandy. How can you have Damien Dearlandy back in the team after this performance? This was so fantastic. Arjun Vis, what the hell did we just witness? We just witnessed the new number one team in world rugby who can play open, expansive rugby as well as 10-man rugby. That's what we just witnessed. Brian, so proud of our box, teamwork and power. Absolutely. It was teamwork. And I think that's the great thing out of this game tonight for the Springboks as far as I'm concerned. It was every man in the team was playing his role. And even the substitutes that came on and did their role as well. Thought Grant Williams on the wing was fantastic. That try-saving tackle against Will Jordan in the last seconds was absolutely brilliant. Francis, Mark, you don't seem disappointed. Why would I be? Rugby's the winner. It was a fantastic game of rugby. The All Blacks lost the game of rugby. So what? It was an absolutely brilliant game of rugby, and the Springboks showed us how the game should be played in that second half. So congratulations to the Springboks, and I'm not going to apologise or be disappointed about that. Yeah, the All Blacks have got a lot of things to look at. We've been knowing that for a while, but people just haven't been listening, I guess. How are all the Finlay Christie fans tonight and Damien McKenzie fans, yeah? Let's start talking about them. Truly incredible performance by the Boks. Let's hear what the haters have to say now. Last week they laughed. Today we showed who the real world champions are. David, it's one game all in the two-game series. The Springboks were a way better team tonight. The All Blacks won last weekend. So, yeah, incredible performance, no question about it. But it's one game all, David, in this series. Titanium, well done, Bokker. Yes, absolutely. Nico Els, the Boks cut down on the mistakes from last week. Nico, my view on this is that Boks not only cut down on their mistakes, but they also played a different type of rugby and they executed it very well. And you can thank the likes of Damien Willemse for that. You can thank the likes of Keenan Moody, who also contributed. Fassi in the beginning in the first half for a while. It was a team effort. It was a team effort, absolutely. David, I know, Mark, but everyone wrote us off and insulted us. No, they didn't, David. There's a lot of us in the Kiwi side of things that didn't write you off at all and respect you very much as a rugby team. And we knew that you had this kind of performance in you as a team, particularly with these changes. So I think we need to give credit where credit is due. There's always going to be the haters, David, on these channels and talk about things, but there's a lot of us true rugby fans who appreciate watching fantastic rugby, and that was one of the most exciting and brilliant rugby games I've watched after the Argentinian-Australian game today. Vestal Virgin Gaming, where did the All Blacks go wrong in your opinion? Well, first of all, Finlay Christie came on the field. Damien McKenzie played at fullback. There's two reasons for you. I've been banging on about it for so long. You can't put a little guy at fullback who's going to be peppered with high balls all the time. Geordie Barrett should have been back at fullback, but the All Blacks are not learning that lesson. They put a little guy in Damien McKenzie, and then he gets lost in play. Finlay Christie comes on after Noah Hotham goes off, and we see, what do we see? We see nobody that's got the potential to run from halfback. But this is not about the All Blacks losing. This is about the Springboks playing fantastic rugby. This is the kind of rugby we want to see from the top teams in world rugby. We asked for a dry pitch. We got it. We asked to see what the Springboks backline could do, but it wasn't just their backline. It was in combination with a great forward effort. Sia Kolisi played a fantastic game tonight. Jasper Wiese is back at number 8. A fantastic performance. Quagga did his job when he came on. RG Schneemann was brilliant when he came on the field. And I thought that was another thing the Boks did well. They adjusted to the players that came on through their HIAs and everything else they had. And I just want to send out my commiserations for Fassi. It looks like he's got a bad injury. You never want to see a player go off, but he's going to be celebrating along with his teammates a fantastic win today. So that was really good. The White Rabbit, Mark, I can be objective, but this one hurts because it shows systematic problems. Yes, it does show systematic problems perhaps. And maybe tomorrow we'll look at it all in a different way. But for now, yeah, it hurts as an All Black fan. Of course it does. And some of the questions that have been asked of this coaching staff have to continue to be asked until we see some more consistency. But when you're up against a team that can run 36 points against you in the second half, you have to be humble and accept defeat and say that they were a way better team, which they were. That's my opinion anyway. I was deeply disappointed in the referee's decision last week. Love a fair game always. No sour grapes last week, but the facts are the facts. Love the opportunity to set things right. Brent says, well done, Springboks. Yes, McKenzie shouldn't even be in the All Blacks and all these halfback problems. What more does Fakatava have to do to be back in black? Scott Barrett is no captain. Yeah, a lot of things for the All Blacks to think about. Lineouts were poor, scrums were poor, terrible under the high ball. But again, kudos to the Boks. They played to our weaknesses and we capitulated in that second half. That's what happened. But boy, we've got a rugby championship now, don't we, fans? Oh, I want to go to South Africa and watch an Argentina game, and I want to go to Eden Park because the Aussies are coming. Now it's going to get good. Now it's going to get good. Joshua, a very good debut from Ethan Hooker, wasn't it? Whoa, look at that run in the last, when was it? Last 10 minutes or so. He had a fantastic run, 40 metres. Bet Damien McKenzie in the tackle. Bet Finlay Christie in the tackle. He's going to be good, that guy. Ethan Hooker, watch out for him in Test rugby going forward. The White Rabbit, agreed. The Boks were clinical and humble in victory. Sia is a true gentleman and a champion. Yeah, I thought Sia played one of the best games I've seen him play for a long time tonight. He was up for this game. Led the team very, very well indeed. Juan Segundo, what a night. Love to see these games. Great job, Mark, from Argentina. Thank you, sir. Congratulations on your fine win in Sydney today. That was brilliant to see. And to all the South African supporters tuning in from around the world, well done. That was absolutely brilliant rugby. That's the best I've seen the Springboks play for a while against the top-tier nation. David, Mark, one question. What do you think takes the championship? Are you allowed to say? Who do you think takes the championship? Are you allowed to say? Yeah, I'm not paid by anybody, David, to not give my opinions. Who's going to take the championship? Well, could it come back to that game in London between Argentina and the Springboks? That would be exciting, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be very, very exciting, that game? But look, I tell you what, we've still got some upsets to come, or we've still got some outcomes to come that we're not expecting in this championship. Mark my words. Mark my words. We're going to have a fantastic end to this rugby championship. I can't wait for that Eden Park game now. The Aussies are coming. That's going to be brilliant. Jasper, the high score for the Boks against the ABs in New Zealand. That is a correct fact. Yes, it is. Brilliantly done. And it was in Wellington. Wellington. Here, my notes tell me. What was it? New Zealand's appalling record in Wellington. We played the Springboks 16 times in Wellington. We've won 9. We've lost 5 now, and we've had 2 draws. The All Blacks have only won 4 out of the last 11 games now in Wellington. So let's put a petition together for New Zealand Rugby to have no more games in Wellington. Let's get that stadium built in Christchurch and get the test matches played there and in Dunedin and in Auckland. No more games in Wellington. Ethan Costa says, now that is why Eden Park is protected by Maori wards and black magic. Well, there's something in the water in Eden Park, that's for sure. Long may it stay. Jasper and Damien and RG and Kobus had huge impact on the game. So did Grant Williams. Don't forget, he saved a potential try from Will Jordan in the end. And he played brilliantly on the wing when he came on. And don't forget Cheslin Colby. He had an outstanding game tonight under the high ball. I made notes, he took 3 off Damien McKenzie that I've got written down here under the high ball. I don't know why McKenzie, the shortest guy in the All Black team, was going up for high balls, but hey, everyone loves Damien McKenzie, right? Cameron Kay, Australia is winning the Bledisloe Cup. Put your money on it now. All Blacks to lose at Eden Park against Australia. Are the All Blacks, I missed that one, sorry. Terry G, hopefully Australia doesn't give All Blacks easy bonus points. Hopefully Australia doesn't give All Blacks easy bonus points. The Wallabies are going to beat the All Blacks, aren't they? Yeah, I'm here in Welly, and I'm okay with that. Good man. Good on you. You recognise good rugby when you see it being played, and that's what we should all be celebrating tonight. 2 brilliant rugby games, yeah. Argentina against Australia, and now this one. 36 points to 0 in that second half. Well, if you've been watching my videos, I've been talking about how poor the All Blacks are in the second half of all their games, right? And tonight just takes the cake. Brodie McAllister coming on in those line-out throws. Absolutely disastrous. Ruan Norkia, another standout for the box tonight. Esterhazen I've got here. Another standout player. Quagga Smith was brilliant when he came on. Damian Willemse was absolutely fantastic. I don't know how Damien Deolandi gets back into this team now after that performance. Russie would be silly to move him out. Terry G, pressure on Razor now. Imagine they give up the Bledisloe. Yeah, it's going to be a bit of soul searching in that camp. And as I said in my preview video to everybody that saw it, I was happy with this All Black selection. I thought the selection was fine, except for Damian McKenzie, as I talk about all the time. And unfortunately for Noah Hotham, I don't know what the curse is with that New Zealand number 9 jersey for halfbacks, but it's just a terrible thing. So he had to go off, and as soon as Christie came on, I don't want to say that was the end of it, but there was no one in the 9 jersey for the All Blacks tonight to play like Cobus Reinhardt did or Grant Williams did. That's what I'll say. The White Rabbit, yes, the final 20-minute used to be ours, not anymore. Absolutely right. Yep. Potato. Who do you think was the best on for each side, a top 3 from both teams? Well, for the Springboks, I think it's hard to go past Damian Willemse. I think he had a brilliant game. Cheslin Colby also had a brilliant game. So there's 2. And in the forwards, it's either Jasper Wiese or RG Schneemann for me. For the All Blacks, top 3 in the All Blacks tonight? That's a difficult one. Fabian Holland, maybe, when he came on. He did a good job, even though he wasn't given a good line-out ball. Satiti made some mistakes again. Artie was okay without being brilliant. Simon Parker was okay without being brilliant. At half-time, one thought, okay, this is a close game, right? No one expected to see what happened in the second half, and the All Blacks just fell away completely, capitulated. So if you're just joining the screen and you're a South African supporter, congratulations from us Kiwis. That was a brilliant performance. Highest score against the All Blacks in New Zealand in history. Setting the record straight in Wellington now. The All Blacks have won 4 games from their last 11 games in Wellington. And the total counts are we've played 17 times against the Springboks in Wellington across the course of history. The All Blacks have won 9. The Springboks have now won 5, and there's been 2 draws. So superb performance by the Springboks. So I think Rassie and Tony Ball will be having a few cold castles tonight. Nanase, Sawa, too good. Still struggling to understand it. Yeah. Thanks a lot. We do not anticipate this, but in Rassie we trust. So you should. Absolutely brilliant performance. It's what I've been saying in my videos. You don't turn on Rassie after one loss, right? The guy knows what he's doing. And he changed the team because he wanted to play this kind of rugby, and now he's delivered on it. So you should be loving Rassie more than you ever have before with this performance. CH1301, Mark, superb performance by the Boks. It was an excellent performance, world class. I think we are all acknowledged that there is something wrong with this All Blacks team, no leadership. Yep, good point, my friend. And I would go to say that there's no leadership on the field and off the field. I think there's some questions being asked within the coaching group, and I'm not just pointing fingers at Razor here. I'm talking about the greater coaching group. We're seeing some holes really being expressed now at the moment. DGB, the immense scrum leading to Colby's second try opened the floodgates. Yes, the scrum again, wasn't it? Absolutely dominant. And You know, the All Blacks didn't have Cody Taylor, but one man doesn't make a whole world of difference when it comes to 8 men playing like the way the Springboks did. But what I liked about the Springboks today, in terms of their scrummaging, they got the timing right. And that made the world of difference, I thought, in terms of being able to be completely dominant. So great performance by the pack of the Springboks. Nolan, respect to the All Blacks, but we know now who is number one and who are the true world champions. Great game. Well, Nolan, it's 1-1 between the All Blacks and the Springboks in this series. And we'll see who wins the Rugby Championship, shall we? Because that's up for grabs still. Transformational edge. Hooker should always start. I think Ian McDonald knows him now. Ian McDonald. Who's Ian McDonald? Sorry, my ignorance. I don't know who Ian McDonald is. Ian McDonald. Ring a bell. Ring a bell. Juan Segundo. It looks like all 4 teams having great performance. How do you compare them to European teams looking forward to the Rugby World Cup? Yeah, it's one thing that I really miss at this time of the year is that we don't have, we've got to wait until the autumn series, don't we, to see England and France playing in Ireland. How do I compare them? Well, I think some of those games are going to be brilliant as well. I think we're going to see just as close fixtures between Ireland, England, France, and maybe even Scotland's got a chance against the All Blacks now. I don't know, says, what was that, Mark? We need to stop 5 to 6 players without naming them. There's seriously something wrong with the leadership across this group. Yeah, there's probably a lot of things wrong with this All Blacks team, but that was one performance. The Springboks did exceptionally well. A lot of holes that were identified for the All Blacks, so now they need to go away and fix it. But let's not take the kudos away from the Boks tonight. This was a brilliant performance, 36 points to 0 in the second half. We have to get into our history books and see whether or not the All Blacks have ever had 36 points scored against them in the history of a second half in a rugby game. I don't know the answer. Maybe one of you know that one. Kyle Jank says, don't want to be arrogant about our win, but this was seriously lifted our nation's spirits. Yeah, congratulations. You should be happy. That was absolutely champagne rugby for 40 minutes. Absolutely brilliant. Good to have a Georgian ref who respects the scrum. He had a pretty good game, I felt. Yep, no complaints about the referee from my side. Absolutely not. Shane, wow, just wow. We were subdued comprehensively. Yes, we were. Yep, we were made to look like a high school team in the second half. Nolan, biggest ever defeat for the All Blacks. They have to fire Razor. No, they don't. It's not a question of having to fire Razor. Just like the Boks didn't fire Rassi last week after a loss at Eden Park. It was only a week ago that the Boks lost, right? And if the All Blacks come back and put 50 points on Australia in 2 weeks' time, everybody will be forgiving Razor, but I can't see that happening, actually. The All Blacks scoring 50 against Australia. Adrian in Cape Town, great performance, which makes last week all more frustrating. Yep, but you can only play what's in front of you, Adrian, and this was a different Springbok team playing a different kind of rugby. So let's appreciate that, because it was fantastic to see the selection choices of Rassi being able to execute on the field. And I thought Mani Lebok did really well when he came on. He changed up the game a bit. He started putting the high ball up. He obviously saw something when he was sitting on the sidelines, and I thought that was a really good strategy. And the All Blacks started to capitulate under the high ball. So Mani Lebok needs a lot of your love and appreciation tonight for those that give him a hard time all the time. Adele, sick performance. Yes. Donovan, wow. Randomly factual. So this is a dream and I'm about to wake up. Let me know when the match starts. I'll read it again for you. 43 points to 10, 36-0 in the second half. And some amazing tries. That last try by Esterhazen was brilliant. Grant Williams' tackle on Will Jordan was fantastic. R.G. Schneeman's try after Damien McKenzie had missed the high ball. And South Africa had got the ball back from that particular play, and Schneeman went over for a try. Quagga Smith's good try. Damian Willems' brilliant try. because New Zealand had stuff to throw into the line out from McAllister. Ruan Nokia got the ball and the box took off again. Craig Adams, so good to see Gaz back. Williamson, yeah, he's a brilliant player, isn't he? He's won 2 Rugby World Cups, that young man already. Fantastic. Donovan, wow, justice has been served. Okay. David, agree, Money played well, hell of a well, but Mark, did you notice he was not under pressure and that's when is deadly? Yep. Yeah, the All Blacks weren't getting up in his face, were they? Too much. Where was Artie? Where was Simon Parker? Where was Wallace Satiti? Just wanted to come here and say hi, well done to the box. Hard luck to New Zealand. You guys will be back to give us a hiding, don't you worry. The box made many handling errors during the first half, so the score could have been even worse. Yep. We won't get into would have, could have, whatever, but yes, that could have happened. We got spanked good and proper. Fozzie come back, says family of 4. Okay, so now there's cause for Fozzie to come back. Shane, sideways all day, no punch power in the centres. Yeah, that seems to be another problem, doesn't it? Although I did think Bodie was standing a little bit deeper tonight, which was good. But again, when you don't have a halfback, and I'll go on about it again because I've been saying it, when you have someone like Finlay Christie at number 9 who doesn't do any darting runs and take the defence away from South Africa, then all the pressure is going to go on your inside centres. And that's exactly what happened again tonight because Christie doesn't have the skills to be able to dart from the base of the scrum. And as soon as we lost Noah Hotham in this game, that area of the game was gone from the All Blacks. So, nice to see the Rugby Championship is still open. Time to sleep in Argentina. Good job, Mark. See you in a couple of weeks. You guys going to bed already? Come on, it's only 4:20 in the morning. We've got to be standing up and talking about Rugby 1. Good night, my friend. Sleep well, and well done again in Sydney. Great performance by the Pumas tonight. Fantastic. Isaac says, where do you find a good steak and cheese pie over there in Mexico? Isaac, I haven't found one here, mate. So if someone can tell me, I'd love to know. Can't find a good pie anywhere here, actually, to be honest. Somebody just come on and said, did the Springboks win? Okay, I think you better tell them who won. Hi, Mark. Thanks for your content. Deeply disgusted in the All Blacks. Drop Bodie from team. Drop DMAC. Drop Billy. Drop Finlay. They don't have big match grit. Need new young 10s in the making. Yep. Well, you got one. He came on in the second half and went on the wing. So another one of those decisions. DGB, good point about Christie not asking questions on the fringes. Yeah, I thought Christie had an absolute shocking game, and I was watching him very closely tonight because I've got a lot of people that come on my channel and give me a hard time about being too hard on Finlay Christie. But when you're the 4th or 5th choice halfback in New Zealand and you're filling in a role and you're actually seen to be all your weaknesses come out in a game like this, and that's exactly what happened. He was slow in defence. He was trailing back behind the other players. He seemed to be very, very tired at times during the game. And he never gave the South African Lucies a chance to tackle him because he didn't run from the base of anything. Anyway, I'll talk about that more with details and facts because I know a lot of people will come back at me on that one, but we'll talk about that later in my deep review video that'll be coming out tomorrow. Brilliant performance by the box, by far the best performance in a while. Rugby Championship is there for the taking for all it is. Michael, thank you for the comment. And yeah, what an exciting Rugby Championship after tonight. A lot of us was talking about if the Argentina and the box won today, what does it do to the championship? Well, it keeps it alive. And that's what all us rugby fans want to see. Cormac Doyle says, my dad has been following rugby for 40 plus years here in Ireland. And to say we are both shocked as this result, we must just sit in silence like we have never seen the ABs beat at home like that ever. No, Cormac, that's a true statement. And it gives you guys a lot of confidence going to Chicago in not too many weeks' time to take on the All Blacks, I'm sure. And I think a lot of teams will be rubbing their hands together after watching this performance from the All Blacks today, mainly England, Scotland, France and Ireland, I think will be very, very happy to see this, as will Australia with Joe Schmidt coming to Eden Park in a couple of weeks. Shane says, Artie looked gassed. Yep. I think the pace of the game took it out of a lot of players. I don't think Artie was a solo sailor on that one, was he? I think at times the box guys were very tired in the first half as well. But once you get that roll on like they did in the second half, how long into the second half was it before they started scoring tries? There, 60 minutes. So it was 10 minutes into the second half before the Boks got their first try, and then the floodgates opened after that. So it was pretty tight up until then. Yep. Olivia Ford, hi Mark. Russie must please work with this team. Very proud of the Springboks. Yes, very, very proud you can be of the Springboks. And let's face it, Russie's got a good coaching group there as well. Felix Jones and also Tony Ball. It's a group that brings a performance like that together, the backs and the forwards working together. It was a very complete performance in the second half. Well done again to all the Springbok fans joining the chat tonight. Why can't they bring McCall in like they're using Dwayne Vermeulen? Well, they can. And he was in there this week, Cameron. He was in there for most of the week with the All Blacks this week. Obviously, the players didn't execute tonight. Jasper, I am back. Good on you, Jasper. Nice to have you back. That try was off the back of our line-out mistake, 10 metres from their line. That was the turning point. It was one of the turning points, yep. Yep. Elmar, for my mate Bevan. Who's your mate Bevan, Elmar? Who's Bevan? Tainui, yeah, Isaac, they won't share the good stuff. Sorry, that's not for me, obviously. Billy just nodded. Thanks again, Mark. Well done, Box. Yep. I thought Billy Proctor went all right. Got outside his man a couple of times, did some good tackles. But, yeah, I've been saying for the year, haven't I, that 12 and 13 for the All Blacks is still not quite there. And now we've seen something new from the Box, haven't we, with Damian Willemse and Kanan Moody. That looks very, very dangerous. Cameron says, Scott Robertson needs to go to the New Zealand Rugby Union and tell them he wants Wayne Smith and McCall there as permanent in coaching staff. Interesting. I'll talk more about that tomorrow in my review video, but I think in terms of, quick emotions from this, you've got to put a lot of the emphasis on the players on the field. The All Black players did it in the first half. They were leading at halftime, don't forget. And don't forget, the All Blacks withstood some very good Springboks attacking in the first 10 minutes of this game. They weren't in it for the first 10 minutes, the All Blacks, but they ground their way back into it and they started to hustle. And they looked like they were going to get the lead, and they did get the lead. So let's put it all into context. This was a fantastic second half performance from the Springboks that opened the All Blacks defensive line up and put a number of questions on a number of players in certain positions. And that's what I think we need to dig down on. Elmer, Bevan Fortune passed away. Yes, my apologies. Yes, indeed. Along with Mr. Kurtzia as well. So, yeah, rest in peace, both of them, and our condolences to everybody in the South African rugby community on the loss of those two Springboks. There was a minute's silence before the game, which I thought was a beautiful tribute to those two gentlemen. So good stuff from the New Zealand Rugby Union to acknowledge that. I'll tell you another thing that I really like is I love hearing the South African national anthem being sung by the Maori choir, which was done again tonight. I thought that was really special, and it's something you don't hear of the South African national anthem across the world anywhere else. So that was a nice touch to the game again tonight. Isaac, they need a South African chef employed ASAP at the cake tin. Where is your famous rugby team now? Kalitsa. Where is your famous rugby team now? Don't know what you're talking about. Whose famous rugby team? Rael Politic. What's the answer to those high kicks? Well, I think first of all, it's height, right? You've got a guy like Damien McKenzie who's what, 1.60 m, trying to take on Kanan Moody and Cheslin Colby, who can jump as high as Michael Jordan. And he's not going to win the ball. So I've been crying out for Jordie Barrett to be put at fullback for the All Blacks, because that's one of the reasons why he should be back there. He's brilliant in the last line of defence, which we saw again tonight from Jordie Barrett. He's 6'5" high, so he can catch those high balls. And we put our smallest guy in the 15 jersey. So that's maybe something we've got to do. Jordie Barrett is a fullback, not a 12. Leicester and Quinn Tupaia 12 and 13. Yep, that could be an answer. Salty says, hi, Mark. Your take on Ethan Hooker. Absolutely brilliant, Salty. What a guy, right? Look at the strength of him, and to have the opportunity, or to take the opportunity to run 40-plus meters on a solo effort that went to set up the next try was absolutely brilliant, and that's going to do his confidence the world of good. But I thought he was good throughout the game. He was hungry to get in there and get the ball. I thought the competition against him was good at times, though. I thought Leroy Carter had a good game for the All Blacks. He was hungry tonight, scored the try, of course, in the first half. But Ethan Hooker, yeah, he's going to be a superstar, that guy. What a guy to have on the wing. S-Bok, first time on your stream, Mark. Great show. Go Bocco. Welcome. Nice to have you here. Thank you for joining us. Hope you also watch my videos. And I'll be doing a deep dive into this game in the next 24 hours, so keep a watch out for that. I've got all my notes here. Got all my notes from the game, so I'll go through all that in detail and share my opinions once the emotion's gone out of it for everyone. But it was a great game. Wayne says, Russie must keep it up. Yeah, you guys put a lot of pressure on Russie, don't you? But let's enjoy tonight for the Springboks. This is what it was about. This was the performance that this group of players wanted to put out there to make every Springbok fan very happy with them, and they should celebrate. Win or lose aside, what a spectacle these past 2 weeks. Great games and edge of the seat stuff. Thanks for being good host, New Zealand. Thank you for coming to our beautiful country. And thank you for displaying how brilliant you are as a rugby team. But also at this time, I will also put in a bit of a cheer and a special mention to Mr. Matt Pearce and Shimmy as well, because I've been watching those guys a bit since they've been in New Zealand. And I'll tell you what, they're absolutely fantastic ambassadors of your game, of your country. To be touring around New Zealand and being the voice of rugby back to super sport. I've really enjoyed those two guys in particular, talking about rugby the way that it should be talked about and shared. And I hope Shimmy's operation goes well when he gets home and that he has no lasting problems. And he should stay away from bars for a while. Nolan, Mark, do you agree that the second half was the best rugby ever played? Ooh, that's a big call, Nolan. I've seen some good rugby over the years. I'll tell you what, Nolan, I'll make mention of this in my in-depth review of this game when I put the video out, because I want to have a little bit of a think about that. This was definitely one of the best second halves of rugby I've ever seen. But as far as the best, yeah, I'll have a think about it. I'll come back to you on that, Nolan. Thank you for the question, though. Emmanuel, hi Mark, really bad day at the office. I thought the Boks played well, so congratulations to them. No need to sack Razor. The hungrier team won. Hope our boys can bounce back from this. That's the way to see it. Absolutely. We shouldn't be talking about sacking Razor. It's one game of rugby. The boys played terribly. They'll be taking a lot of responsibility for it, and the coaches need to sit down and see what they can come up with a plan B or C now. They've got 2 weeks. Isaac, I'm off to bed, Mark. Thanks again for your great content. I'm always diligent in liking your content. Off topic, if you haven't already been there, Laguna Bacala in Mexico is bloody lovely. Okay, mate. Thank you for that. And have a good sleep. What is it? 4:25 in the morning here in Mexico. I'm going to go straight into watching the World Athletics Championship from Tokyo in a couple of hours. So no sleep for me today. Ian, Mark, your insights are awesome. I look at the game with a different perspective now, agree where our weaknesses are. Thank you, Ian. We're all rugby fans. We all have an opinion. No one's an expert. So We share on my channel. We respect each other. We watch the game with humility. We crown the champions who win on the day, and the Springboks were too good for us today. Cameron, but Mark, every week they say the same thing. We take responsibility, but we don't see any consequences. Well, Cameron, I don't think that's quite fair, mate, because we've seen Rico Ioane dropped. We've seen Sevu Reece drop from this team. Razors made the changes. As I said in my preview video, I was happy with the selection of this team. Don't forget, we lost Noah Hotham early in this game. And a lot of you might not think so, but I believe it made a huge difference to the All Blacks because we didn't have a 9 who was capable at running at the box like Cobus Reinhardt did against us. And as a result of that, the South African defensive line was able to zero in on Beauden Barrett and Geordie Barrett. And I think that had a big impact, plus their kicking game, of course. Darwood Stein, I think it was a brilliant fight. Guess the hungriest dog will fight for the bone. Both teams were epic tonight. I think both teams were epic in the first half, and the Springboks were epic in the second half. I don't think the All Blacks were epic at all in the second half, Darwood, but thank you for your comment. Ian, still love our All Blacks always. Of course we do, Ian. Absolutely. And we can be as gutted as any fans who lose a game of rugby like this. So grieving is part of humanity, isn't it? Dawn and Gary Morgan. Hi, Mark. Embarrassing and disgusting performance. Need to get Jamie Joseph to help us out. Cheers, mate. Yep. Let's see. Let's take 24 hours to take a breath, see how all the dust settles after this one. It was a great performance from the Springboks. New Zealand lost their way in the second half, and lots of people have lots of opinions about how that happened. So we can all share that, right, when we move forward. But let's not bring out the gallows just yet. As Neil Singh says, why are the All Blacks making short kicks and giving away the ball to the box? Is this Razor's plan or the All Blacks giving away the game? I'm cancelling my Sky Sports subscription. Don't cancel your Sky Sports subscription. There's plenty of other sports to watch if you don't want to watch rugby anymore. I'm sure the day after you cancel it, you'll put it back on again. Dennis, well done, Mark. Great work on the live reaction. Thank you very much, Dennis. Nice for you to join us. Amazing how many, Stephen Judge says, amazing how many injuries and HIAs the Boks had and yet had that performance. Yeah, Stephen, that's a really good point. Thanks for bringing that up because I think that was one of the standout things within this game. The Boks didn't get rattled with the number of players that they were having taken off the field. In the first half, they lost 5 players. Only Reinhardt was able to come back on in the second half after his HIA assessment was passed. But to be able to bring those rest of those guys on who then completely unraveled Russie's bench plans in terms of who was going to come on in the second half. And, of course, they were down to one last substitution for the back line as well. So when Esterhuizen came on, it really made a big difference, didn't it? So I thought that was a really good part of the game for the Springboks tonight, Stephen, was the way that the Boks managed that interruption through injury. Good point. Thank you for making it. Elmar, what's a change from boring rugby to champagne rugby? Yeah, well, just watch the Rugby Championship this year. Now we've got to wait 2 weeks until the next games. Oh, what do we do? Oh. Nolan, the mutual respect between the two teams remains the same. Yeah, absolutely right. Couldn't agree more. Last week it was our turn to shout from the rafters. This week it's the Boks. And then we've got the tour of South Africa next year. Wow. This is what we want from rugby. Mark Williams says, this is long time coming. Tony Ball wins the match. Yep. It all clicked tonight, Mark. In that second half, it all clicked. That's what happens when it clicks. It just looks like that. Looks unbeatable, right? Joshua, I salute Mark with this program. Well done. Keep it up. Thank you, sir. I'll do my best. Just another rugby fan enjoying the moments. C says some legends past the prime. Okay, who are you thinking about there, C? Who are the ones that you think are past the prime? Jasper says humble. Yep. We've got to be humble when we win. We've got to be humble when we lose. Donovan, right now for the Springboks women do their thing against the Vins. Yes, that's going to be a good game. Can New Zealand get revenge there? Maybe. Australia taking on Canada in the ladies' quarterfinal. New Zealand and South Africa again. Fantastic. Mark Williams, tough day at the office for Razor. Yep, him and everybody associated with All Black Rugby, I would say. I'm sure the New Zealand Rugby Union walls at the headquarters are shaking tonight. Float Point says, I think Russie is planning for the next Rugby World Cup by his weekly experimentations while most other coaches are seeking stability too early on. The box will probably peak right before the next Rugby World Cup. Your take. Float Point, thank you for the question and for the comment. Look, my take on that is this. We're 2 years out from a Rugby World Cup. 2 years in the world of rugby is a long time. We've just seen what can happen in 7 days in the game of rugby, right? So with injuries and all the things that we've seen of recent times and certain players, you know, the All Blacks haven't had Cam Roigard this year. That's been a big thing. So we're 2 years out still. So, yeah, some of the players that are in the team may not be in the World Cup from both sides. And that's probably going to be a real thing. So, yeah, I think it's a case of experimentation. Both teams, in this case, are doing it at their own pace. Razor made a few changes tonight, got a few answers, I think, from some of those players. So, yeah, I think it's a bit early yet to talk about Rugby World Cup when we're 2 years away. But I think Russie's doing the right thing. He's showing that the box can play different types of rugby, and that's very dangerous for the competition. Eric says, what just happened? Well, Eric, if you watched, you probably saw one of the best second halves of Test match rugby you'll ever likely to see in New Zealand against the All Blacks. That's what we just saw happen. DGB, it was good to see Mark's back on form. It was after the first couple of lineouts. Yeah, he got back on form. Mark Williams. Mark, Inside Rugby is a transparent view of rugby. I hope so. Just trying to share my honest, authentic self about the game. So thank you for that. Donovan Nolan. Sir John Kerwin going to have a fit in his commentating. Want to hear what the other pundits' excuses will be. I think you might hear quite a lot of humility from a lot of ex-All Blacks over the next couple of days. Justin Marshall has already started at the end of the game talking about how brilliant this box were. And let's hope that the likes of Murray Mexstead and others come through with a bit of humility as well after what they've been saying, but I'll leave it at that. I'm not one to get into that stuff. So, Eric, scary that the box team still have these youngsters to come, Steening, Camp, Hanekim, Elri, KLA. Yeah, absolutely. Like the depth is fantastic, but I think what you need to work out now is Russie needs to get that squad that he wants to build towards the Rugby World Cup and start playing them more. We need to see this team that played tonight, that started off tonight, because don't forget Sasha was removed pretty early in the game. I think Russie would like to see Sasha in there controlling these games, so the dependency on Andre Pollard coming back into this team in case of emergency is a little bit less, and that both Mani Lebok and Sasha can manage it. Because what we didn't see tonight was if the All Blacks did get back into this game in the second half, we didn't see how that pressure would correlate onto those players in the Springbok jersey. We just saw a runaway train tonight. So if we see other games with this particular team from the Springboks and they start to get put under pressure, that's when we're going to really see what they can do. But that's just my thoughts around that. Potato should send over a 10 from South Africa to Australia. Yeah. And one to New Zealand while they're at it too, potato. Elmer, Rusty will have a pool of 100, many coming from schools rugby. Yeah, you guys could probably put in a B and a C team into the Rugby World Cup next time round, if they allowed that. Eugene, don't be flattered. The All Blacks are far from their best. They were tonight in the second half. That's true. Louis, hi Louis. Louis Creel. Are you related to Jesse? I know there's millions of Creels. Wallabies almost pulled off another huge come from behind. They almost did. And thank goodness they didn't, because it was a forward pass, in my opinion. They didn't deserve to win that in the last minute again, but it was a great comeback for sure. But what an exciting game. That was a great game as well. William McFarlane, thank you for your comment. Nothing wrong with losing or losing at home, but they gave up. Where was the leadership? Surely evidence for a change in captain. Yes, William, I'm with you. If you've been watching my channel for a while, I've been saying Ardie Savea needs to be the captain of this All Black team. And Scott Barrett's lucky to be in the team, in my opinion. But he probably saved his position on his performance last week. He did have a good game last week. But again, it's one game. We shouldn't throw the toys out of the pram just because of one game. Maurice Bars, Wallabies games are rigged. No, they're not. Stop that. Devon, AB is not feared anymore. The jersey must be earned by performing players, not because of caps or combinations. AB is not feared anymore. Yeah, I think that's fair to say. I think the All Blacks aura has gone. And the more times they get beaten. But this is also a combination of other countries doing a lot of good things in their rugby systems, right? So let's appreciate and respect what's going on in Argentina and what they're doing with their team. Let's respect what's happening in England. They're doing well. Ireland have done well. France are doing fantastic as well, the depth of their rugby. So I think there's a combination of things there, Devon. I think we're seeing the level playing field come up a little bit higher, the standard of the game coming up a little bit higher, the standard of the athletes within the game coming up. There's a lot of reasons. It's not just one reason, in my opinion. G'day, Eric. Thanks for your comment. I'm a Safa, and players like Eben, Faf, and Pollard Creel must be back up or mixed with new players. Yeah, just think about it. This game was won tonight without Eben Etzebeth in the team. That's scary, isn't it? That's very scary. Thought Peter Steph Toy had another good game while I was thinking about it just then. Finale, hi Mark. Glad this new team of my box did so well. Thanks for your program. Congrats to Rassi and to be bold and brave. Yes. Mumbo Jumbo Kiwi, welcome to the chat. Hotham is a good player, but he's plagued by injury. Preston, Fakatava and Young Pledger are my picks. Yeah, just imagine tonight, right? If Hotham had gone off and Preston to come on, that would have been a different look altogether for this All Black team. So I'm not saying Christie lost us the game, but as soon as Hotham went off, we lost that ability at halfback. Eric says, big difference was last week's All Black pack were dominant. This week it was the box pack, simple rugby 101. Eric, you're right. And I think there was a lot of other things tonight too. The high ball dominance again from the Springboks was fantastic. But what was really the difference tonight was the creativity in the Springboks team tonight, Eric. The desire, the intent to run and play open, expansive rugby, to take the All Blacks on at their own game. That's what the difference was tonight, and they did it better and executed more efficiently than the All Blacks. Mark Gardner says, totally flogged. Yes, good way of putting it, Mark. Blitz says, now the Kiwis be calling for another coach. Well, some of them might be, Blitz, but I'm not. And if I remember back to 7 days ago, there was a number of South African supporters that were calling for another coach as well. Funny how rugby changes in a week, isn't it? Ashnell, one game. Anyone looking at a margin that All Blacks lost, All Blacks will ever be able to thrash any top 5 teams with a big margin. Yep, That happens as well. Dean Cook says, be fair to the All Blacks. Last week, everybody thought they were so good. 1 week later, it all comes crashing down. I'm South African. Both teams deserve respect. They do, Dean. Yes. But just like thousands and thousands of South Africans last week decided to air their frustration against the Springboks for losing, the All Black fans will do the same this weekend because they're entitled to do so. They're rugby fans. That's what we do. But we also appreciate good rugby, and that was it tonight. Elmar says the ref was good last week, a couple of basic mistakes. Yep. No issue with the ref. Absolutely zero. Rex says, wow, what a performance by the Boks. Looks like third World Cup is theirs. AB's had no answer on the onslaught. Okay. Rex, that's a big call, mate. You're 2 years out from the Rugby World Cup. A lot of things are going to happen in World Rugby before now and then. Hello, Rob. Great show, Mark, from a SAFA fan. Thank you, sir. Thanks for being here. Always nice to meet more people around the world. Ian Jacobs, idiots that wanted Rasties to go. Yes. Yeah, there'll be plenty on the Kiwi side this weekend, Ian. That's for sure. Just wait and hear it tomorrow. Eric says, Mark, you cannot be created if your pack's going backwards. If the Bok pack played like today, also last week, our backline last week would also have been much better like tonight. Yep, you had different players in the backline last week, Eric. And I like the backline that was on show tonight for the Springboks. Blitz, I doubt it, mate. No one does it like Kiwis trying to bone their coach. Oh, Eric, you should watch the English media when the English team starts losing a bit, and the English fans. Potato says, I think everyone just wants to blame the ref all the time when losing or when nearly losing with a lead. Yeah, a lot of people do, potato, but real rugby fans, they know the truth. The truth was we got smashed by a better team. That's right. Marmosa Bus says, Faf, Williams, Mani, Sasha, Willemse, Moody. Damn, that is exciting. Sure is. We didn't even see Faf tonight. Yeah, there's a plethora of talent, huh? Divide. Hello, Mark. Today, tough day for New Zealand. Thankfully, I'm a Bok fan. Have a great day. I am having a great day. I've just watched 2 great games of rugby that have entertained me beyond belief, and I'm extremely happy, even though it's 5 o'clock in the morning. Eric says, I definitely also like the new backline. Think players like Damian Willemse, Moody, Hooker, etc. must be involved against the best teams. Yes, they should be. I'd like to see that. Save Damien Dearlandy and Jesse Curl for those other games. Put these young guys in. Earl Payne says, awesome from the box. The All Blacks are a class act. They will bounce back. South African here. Thank you for your show. You're welcome, Earl. Thank you for the comment. Thank you for the humility as well. Appreciate it. Red Rock. AB's played like the Auckland Blues. I think the Auckland Blues probably played better than the All Blacks tonight, didn't they? DV says probably the best 40 minutes the Boks played in a long time. Can't disagree, particularly against this competition. Alan Oliver says, welcome back, Jasper Wiese. We missed you. We sure did. All rugby fans missed Jasper Wiese. What a game he played. Some big carries tonight. Did I see him absolutely slaughter Samisoni Takiaho at one stage? I think I did. I think I saw Jasper Wiese absolutely put him on his back. Eric says, yes, agree. Marshy and Nisbet were also great in commentary respect. Yeah, of course, they appreciate. They're 2 of our better commentators, aren't they, when it comes to humility, those 2? Mumbo Jumbo Kiwi, this live post analytics is excellent, Mark. Thank you very much. You're welcome. I'm enjoying these. I hope it's a good opportunity for us all to share. I try and get through as many of these comments as I can because I love reading them. Nick 007. Nick, where are you from, Nick? It's about time the Boks get their stuff together for once this year. Okay. Udongo. I saw that there are times All Blacks were being very deep on attack. Looks like they were themselves trying out new attack plays. It just didn't click as they'd hoped. Yeah, they were deeper tonight. I agree. Well spotted. And it didn't work against this particular team on this particular day, but they were deeper, and I liked some of the things that I did see. It's not all negative. We were leading at half time. We were leading after 50 minutes, and then it all crumbled. Louis Creel, Inside Rugby is going to become the go-to channel for all things rugby. No, I'm just a very small part of the world of rugby, but I'm happy to be here. Just playing my small role. That's all I've got to do. Devi, Jasper was so good with his carries. He was. Yep. Alex Collins, welcome to the chat. Razor gone after that. Also the Barrett brothers. Okay, you're going to swing the axe straight away. No forgiveness. Okay, I'm sure plenty of Kiwis will be singing that from the hills of Wellington tonight. Ashley says, at least Rico didn't play, so there's no blame on it. I tell you what, Ashley, you have a look tomorrow online, and I guarantee you there'll be plenty of Kiwis saying, mark my words, there'll be plenty of Kiwis saying, Rico should have been in this team. It would have been all different if Rico Ioane was there. And Sevu Reece. I guarantee you that'll be coming tomorrow. What's the highest loss by New Zealand on home soil? Colby deserved a hat-trick today. I don't know what the highest loss by New Zealand on home soil was. This must be pretty close. It's definitely the biggest loss to the Springboks on home soil. 43 points to 10. I'll just say that again in case you've joined the chat. 43 points to 10 after being down 10-7 at halftime. 36 points to 0 in the second half. And people have been giving me a hard time about talking about the All Blacks' poor second half performances. Say no more. Say no more. Louis Creel, poor Rico. Yes, poor Rico. He can't win if he plays. He can't win if he doesn't play. Exactly. Sorry, your time is finished. All Blacks won 57-0 versus Boks. That's the worst performance. Okay, we had a worse one than this. 50 kilos light in the scrum, not big enough, not quick enough, no X factor. This was the Boks' second team. Then we are nowhere close. Boks in rampage mode, no stopping them, and no answer from the All Blacks. Deserved. Gordo, let's go through some of your comments. 50 kilos lighter. I wrote down the pack weights here. What have I got? 948 versus 909. Yeah, not too far away, but not exactly 50. This was not the Boks' second team at all. I would disagree with that. This was the Springboks 23 that Russie selected for this game. There is no one or two team. This is a team that Russie puts out to play the number one ranked team in the world previously, the All Blacks. So, let's stop talking about Springboks B team and A team and all this. Whatever team Russie picks, that's the Springboks team for the day. And as was demonstrated tonight, that a lot of people say that this was the B team. No, this team would have beaten the B team, the A team. I think this was the biggest All Black loss ever. No, I don't think it was. I think we've been smashed worse than this. It was our biggest loss ever, Dean Clark says. Okay. Today, new record highest beating. Okay, a few people are saying it must be true. I'm not a historian. I thought Twickenham was worse, but okay. If it's in New Zealand, it was the worst. Nick 007 says, I don't read much in big scores like that. Things can go steamroller very quickly at this level. Nice to do it in New Zealand, though. Yeah, it does. It can happen. It can happen, yep. And it does happen. You know, there was a lot of people saying that the All Blacks could have done the same thing today if they'd hit their straps, but they didn't. Eric says 35-7 was largest, biggest one against you know who. Yes, I do know who. Earl Payne says, All Black fans, don't be harsh on your team. Remember the Box lost to you guys with 50 points in the past. Look how from there it motivated them. You guys will always be a bright future. Thank you, Earl. We won't be too harsh on the team, I say. Yes, very interesting. When all the news around the selection was speaking about absolute gas, I was not expecting what I saw in that first half. Amazing from both teams. It was, wasn't it? That first half was, I don't know about you guys and girls, but I got to that first half and I was like, I was tired. Like I was exhausted just from watching that first half. I couldn't keep up with it all. It was like I was going overtime in my little notepad here, and I was another player goes off, another player goes off. What do we have? 5 players go off in the first half. Yeah, we had all those players go off in the first half. Insane, it was. Yep. R.G. Schneeman in the game after a few minutes. It was just incredible. But that's where South Africa did so well, didn't they? They just were able to keep the pressure on. HIAs in the game, isn't it? We're just seeing so many HIAs in the game. It's not good. Not good. After the second half performance, Jason Holland and Scott Hansen have to be on borrowed time. Going to be some questions about the back line, but I think every single All Black that was on the field. Udongo says, Mark, who are scarier, the Springboks players or their coaching staff? Should World Rugby have put cap on how many assistant coaches a team can have? No, I don't think World Rugby should put a cap on how many assistant coaches a team can have. And as far as who's scarier between players and the coaches, I think it's a combined effort. When they click like they did today, it's fantastic. It's great for South Africa. It's great for World Rugby. It's great for rugby in New Zealand as well, because it puts us in our place a little bit and tells us that we need to get better. So what happened today was just as good for New Zealand rugby in some ways as it was for South African rugby, and I hope Kiwis wake up tomorrow realising that. Who are the Ferns playing? They're playing South Africa. We've got another greatest rivalry going on today. I don't know what time that game starts, by the way. It's going to be it's going to be in about 9 hours, I think. Dean Clark, the way they use the HIA suspect, not making excuses. Not sure what you mean by that, Dean. Eric, Tony Brown was so relieved in the coach's box. Finally, it all came together for the game plan. Good work. Yeah. You got to feel for Tony Brown. He's got to have some time in the sun, doesn't he? Yeah. And but they keep believing, and that's the thing. And that's what I like about Russie a lot, is he keeps believing. He trusts his players, and they came and delivered for him. And this is going to give the Box a lot of confidence now to be able to play this way, for sure. Phoenix, welcome to the chat. The return of Jasper at 8 was immense. His first game of the Rugby Championship. Yes, it was. Absolutely brilliant. Devi says 1 hour from now. 1 hour from now. Oh, the start of the women's game, is it? 1 hour from now. Okay. Well, good luck to South African fans again for the women's game in the Rugby World Cup. I wish you all well in that one as well. Maybe the Kiwis will get one back today. Joshua confirms in an hour's time, ladies quarter final. Okay, there we go. Fantastic. Good luck to both teams. I hope rugby's the winner again. Filoso, what does this say about Razor? This says that Razor's got some work to do, my friend. That's what this says. He's going to be facing the media tomorrow, of course, if not tonight already. Potato, potato. Normally I'm a fan of the ABs if they aren't playing the Wallabies, but wanted them to lose for Australia tonight. Okay, well, they've done that now. And it's going to set up. It's going to set up an amazing game at Eden Park again. We're going to have these two incredibly hyped up games at Eden Park this year. And could Australia be the team that takes away the fortress record from the New Zealand All Blacks? That's going to be very interesting. Terry, welcome to the chat. Terry H, the URC is wild this year. I've got to have a little bit of an admission at the moment. I haven't watched one URC game so far this year, so my apologies for that. And if you're interested in me covering that competition on my channel, let me know. And I'll speak to the wife. That smirk of Tupou Vai is very annoying. Well, he got it wiped off his face tonight. Marmosa. Tupou Vai will not be smirking anymore, I would imagine. Belgium Biscuit, welcome to the chat. Fozzie does not look so bad now, does he? No, he doesn't. This is on the New Zealand Rugby Union, that electric backline coached by Brown Schmidt working wonders. Like a caller on the radio said, Razor should do the honourable thing. It's easy for a caller on the radio to say that, isn't it? Sorry, but your time is finished. Razor must go now. Oh, gosh. It's a bit theatrical. Splash giving, is it? Splash giving. Colby's quality came through just the first half try fumble, but other than that, he was immense. Yes, Cheslin played a brilliant game. Absolutely brilliant. As did all the Springboks players, really. If you're a Springboks fan watching this live stream right now, tell me which Springboks player had a bad game tonight, in your opinion. I'd like to know if you can pick any. Why would he stop? Yep, exactly. The greatest rivalry is well and truly alive, and long may it continue. Yeah. So I say that as well. And I just want to say, while everybody's on the chat here, that I wish all the South African fans, the South African rugby team, coaches, and all the support staff a safe and memorable trip back to South Africa on your trip home. Thank you for coming to our beautiful country. Thank you for playing the kind of rugby that you do. And also thank you to your media representatives, particularly Matt Pearce and Shimmy, for being such honourable ambassadors for the rugby game through Supersport in South Africa. It's a pleasure to have you in our country, even though I'm sitting over here in Mexico. Fantastic stuff it was. Jasper, I felt all the box was up to speed. Yes, they were. Who will win this year's rugby championship? Well, you tell us, because nobody here knows. Michael Baxter, Reinhardt kept knocking the ball on like an amateur. He did get caught a couple of times, but I think you can forgive him. DV, Mark, who was your standout player from both teams tonight? Oh, that's a tough question. Just to name one player from each team, that's very difficult. Okay, I'll give it a go. DV, I would say for the Springboks, my standout tonight would be Damian Willemse, just because I saw something very special in the 12 jersey in the Springboks tonight that I haven't seen for a long time. And he's world class. And then in the All Blacks, the standout for the All Blacks tonight would be... That's a tough one. I'd probably say Leroy Carter. He had a really good game for his first game for the All Blacks against the world champions, coming on with that pressure. Huge build-up for him. He handled it well. He took the ball on. He scored a try. And he didn't really play any bad role in any of the Springboks tries. So I'd say from a New Zealand point of view, I was very happy with Leroy Carter's debut today. There you go. Hope that answers your question. Eric, I agree. Damien, Willemse and Moody tonight were great. First time playing together as a combo against New Zealand in New Zealand. Yeah, standout. Absolutely standout. And as I said in my preview video, if you watched that a couple of days ago, I said watch for those two because it was just a brilliant combination on paper, but we saw it being delivered on the field tonight. Jasper, I missed Artie in this game. He was a shadow from last week. I think he gave too much last week and nothing in the tank for this game. Oh, yeah, maybe Jasper, but, there was a lot of hype around that Eden Park game, and I think I said in my preview video about how the pressure was off both teams this week, but I felt the pressure was more on the All Blacks this week to try and back up the win, whereas I think South Africa came into this one a little less pressure because of what happened in Auckland. And I think that freed them up a little bit. That's just my take on it anyway. Jacques Salmon. Hooker also had a fantastic game. He did. No question at all. Brilliant. Grit. 1-2-1-2. Scoreboard pressure made the All Blacks fold. Yeah, not only scoreboard pressure. High kicks, scrums, lineouts, turnover ball, everything else. From the singing of the national anthem of South Africa, it was over, my friend. I'm joking. Potato. On your video reviews, you should make a 23 based off the performance of the game for both games. Okay, I'll do that this week. Promise. Michael Baxter, I think Geordie should move to fullback. I think someone else is saying that. Michael, I wonder who that is. 12 either needs physicality or electricity. Yes, I agree. Look at, okay, so let's talk about that. Michael, you've raised a good point. So if we look at 12s tonight that we've seen, fantastic performance by Damien Willemse, brilliant performance by Choco Barras for Argentina, and brilliant performance by Hunter Paisami for the Australian Wallabies. And Geordie Barrett is not those guys, right? So Geordie Barrett at fullback, as I've been saying, totally agree. In fact, out of the 4 12s that played this weekend, I'd put Geordie Barrett fourth out of those other 3. Mumbo Jumbo Kiwi, Wallabies had it in the bag. No, they didn't. They lost. Didn't you watch the game? Mark says, Mani was so cool under pressure, great for his confidence. Yeah, I'm pleased for Mani. I'm a Mani supporter. And he did the right thing, didn't he, when he came on? He really, really did the right thing, and he started kicking a little bit more than Sasha was doing, and he started putting the All Blacks under pressure, and it worked. Hello, Graham. Welcome to the chat. Kiwi commentators, true rugby purist, unbiased, and excellent commentary that benefits the game compared towards commentators. Suffer here with still enormous respect for the All Blacks. Carter try insane. It was a great try, wasn't it? Multiple phases. Yep. And Graham, if the Springboks hadn't scored all of those tries, we'd be talking about Carter's try. Irony in that, right? Yeah. Eric says, potato, easy, box 1 to 23. Okay, enjoy your win. Will Jordan couldn't find his groove as well. Yeah, had another pretty up and down game. Lee Samuel says, Will Jordan couldn't find his groove. Yeah, he just hasn't been in it the last couple of games, has he? Which is unusual because he sets such a high standard, doesn't he, Will Jordan? Dean Clark says, usually when we have a loss, I take out the positives. I can't think of any. I'll give you a few, Dean. It's not the end of the world, my friend. It's a rugby game. That's it. And the positives are that the New Zealand All Blacks learnt a lot about themselves tonight in key positions. So now it's going to come up to Razor to really, really have some reflection time on what he's doing with this team. Jacques Solman, to play with such passion, even with those replacements coming on and disrupting the game plan, the Boks still excelled. Yeah, Jacques, I've talked about that in the live chat so far, that I thought that was another outstanding element to the Boks game tonight, was their ability to bring those players on at unexpected parts of the game, particularly in the first half, and to still continue to be in the game and to take it to the next level. So that's a really good point. Thank you for raising it again. Red Rock says, the Boks had a young backline. Who would put in a young All Black backline? Cam Roygaard at number 9, Ruben Love at number 10. We're missing a 12 and 13. Leroy Carter on one wing, Will Jordan on the other wing, Geordie Barrett at fullback. There we go. How's that for a start? Kyle Preston off the bench. Should have been there tonight. Finlay Christie. I'll have nightmares tonight about Finlay Christie. Eric says, Carter and Quagga, 2 best tries. Yep. I thought a lot of the South African tries were pretty good, Eric. So you take your pick on those ones. Sia, welcome. That botched try at the end by Will Jordan was brutal, huh? Just unlucky, really. He's a good player anyway. Hopefully this game is a wake-up call and turning point for us. Sia, I saw it differently. I thought the Will Jordan try that wasn't at the end was a brilliant piece of defensive work by Grant Williams. If you go back, Sia, here's a little bit of homework for you. Go back and watch that again in slow motion, and you watch where Grant Williams was when Will Jordan gets the ball. He had to make up a huge amount of territory to get over there in the corner and to tackle Jordan. Not only did he make up the ground, he was able to put in the perfect tackle that brought Jordan down short of the line. So brilliant play by Grant Williams. That's what that was, in my opinion. Eric says, Wilco Eccles, best tight head in the world. New Zealand scrum coach said never again, and then it happened again. I think there was a Kiwi. I think there was a Kiwi here saying how good Wilco Low was last week. Did it again this week. Sean Gunter. The only sour note was Tupou Vai, bad sportsman. Yeah, well, Sean, I can tell you what, mate. He's had the smirk wiped off his face tonight, hasn't he? That won't be coming back for a while. Eugene Human. Hello, Eugene Human. I think Razor should learn from this game and adjust, because the Wallabies also bring the same attacking style and putting pressure on the edges. I hope Razor learns from this game. That's all I can say. Yes. Yeah. And the Wallabies will bring this for 80 minutes. That's for sure. Sia, you're right. Thank you, Sia. It's just that I took a particular notice in that because I wondered why Will Jordan didn't get to the try line, and then I watched the replay and I saw that Grant Williams did a fantastic option of defence. Eric, great. Grant a wing option. He's small enough for a Bok wing. No, I like Grant Williams at halfback. He's brilliant at halfback. How old's Reinhardt? Kobus Reinhardt must be 34, is he? You've got to have Grant Williams in at halfback. He's fantastic there. Devi, couple of good try-saving tackles this game from both teams. There were. Yep. It was helter-skelter in that first half, right? Go back and watch the first half again, and I know that we could get carried away talking about the second half, but the first half was helter-skelter rugby from both teams, and both teams were gassed out at different stages. It was absolutely fantastic. Lee Samuel says, who should coach the All Blacks? I think Razor Robertson should coach the All Blacks. He's got the job. There you go. That's my opinion. Reinach is 35-ish, or 35. I think he's 45, says Eric. I don't think he's 45. He's 35. Sean Gunter. Mark, your thoughts on Aussie-New Zealand games coming up? Where are they? And Argentina-South Africa games. Okay, Sean. So first of all, in 2 weeks' time, we have the All Blacks playing the Wallabies at Eden Park for the Bledisloe Cup and for the All Black record at Eden Park again. Then they will play their second game in Perth in Western Australia at Optus Stadium over there in the beautiful west of Australia. And that's now set up to be a fantastic series. And Argentina will go to South Africa for one game. And then they will play the second and last game of this year's Rugby Championship at Twickenham in London. So there we go. I think the Wallabies have got a great chance of beating the All Blacks at Eden Park. And I'll tell you what, if they beat the All Blacks at Eden Park, could they go 2-0 against the All Blacks this year? Kiwi fans will not like me talking about that. Anyway, Sean, that's what's happening next up in 2 weeks' time, my friend. Sam Wilson, what would you rate the All Blacks' performance out of 10? Okay, Sam, so we've just watched the game. We've got all the adrenaline and emotions flowing. So I'll split this up into two halves. I thought the All Blacks did well to get the lead in that first half, so I'll give them about a 7.5, 8 out of 10 for the first half performance because the Springboks were playing good rugby in that first half. It was helter-skelter. There was some good defensive work. Leroy Carter's try was brilliant. So 7.5, 8 out of 10 for the first half. For the second half, I would say that I'd give the All Blacks about a 3 out of 10 for the second half at the maximum. Sam, there you go. Sean, thanks, Mark. You're welcome, Sean. Lee Samuel, thanks, Mark. Love your stuff. I'm hopping off. Cheers, mate. Thank you, Lee. Have a good day, evening, afternoon, wherever you are. Sam Wilson, cheers, Mark. You're welcome. Reineck is slow. No, he's not. Reineck is fast. Jacques Simmons dominated from the first minute and almost scored 2 tries in the first 20. They did. So therefore, you've got to give the All Blacks a little bit of credit around defence because they hustled really well. They scrambled on different occasions, Jacques, and they stopped the Boks from getting those early points on the board. And probably like a lot of us, you probably thought, wow, that could have been a missed opportunity for the Boks by not scoring, and the All Blacks got back into the game. But wasn't the case, was it? Hello, Graham. Thanks for coming. Boks too hot to handle. Blacks lucky not to concede 50. Yeah, if there was another 5 minutes, they might have done so. Udongo, when last did the Wallabies win the Bledisloe Cup? I think I wasn't born when the Wallabies last won the... No, that's a joke. Sorry to any Australian viewers on the stream at the moment. That was a joke. It's been a long time, though. I think it's 28, 30 years since the Wallabies last won the Bledisloe Cup. Not a record you want to lose this year, right? So what's Razor looking at now? He's looking at the Wallabies at Eden Park for the record and the Wallabies at Eden Park for the Bledisloe Cup on the back of the worst performance against the Springboks in New Zealand. Boy, Razor's got some pressure coming. Sean, best New Zealand player of the day? Difficult one. I'm going to stick with Leroy Carter, Sean, because I think having a debut against the Boks is something pretty substantial. And for a guy that's transformed his game from the sevens rugby world to 15s and to be selected as an All Black, to score a try on debut, to be part of a wonderful move, but also to show up in the game as he did in different stages. He was hungry. He was looking for work. He made other good breaks in the game. I think Leroy Carter would be up there with one of my best for the day for the All Blacks. Elon asked, how do you think about the lack of capability to handle high balls caused All Blacks? Otherwise, that game would have been as interesting one after the defeating the Boks at Eden Park. Well, Elon, I think it was a lot more than just handling the high ball. The All Black scrums were terrible. The lineouts were terrible in the second half. Their decision-making at times was terrible. Their halfback performance was terrible. A whole host of things. So it just didn't come down to the high balls. That was one element of the performance, in my opinion. Rougeau. I think the territorial push in the first half tapped the New Zealand lads. Might have done. Yep. But the Box had 5 players go off in the first half. So you would have thought the All Blacks would have run a bit more in the second half, right? Just my thought. Red Rock, why do you think the All Blacks have poor performance at second half? It's been consistently poor this year. Even with the France test, they lost the second half. Yeah, they've lost every second half this year so far, even against the Argentines. Why do I think it's poor? Because I think there's a lot of self-belief that's gone out of this All Black team. We used to be the team, if you remember, not so long ago, that used to run home in the last 20 minutes and put on a huge score against teams or come back and win games dramatically in the end. We're not doing that anymore. So I think this has really become a problem for the All Blacks, and the bench is not working. They call it the impact players. They're not impactful. In fact, they're worse. That's my view on that one. Pierre. Hello, Pierre. Mark, check my previous comment. What was it, Pierre? I didn't see one, sorry. Remind me. Chanda. Absolute wonderful result. Backline made the difference. Damien and Marnie were amazing. Yes, but the forwards were great as well. Jasper Visa was great. RG Schneemann was great. He's one of my favourite Springboks, that guy. He's brilliant. Wilco Lowe was great. Malcolm Marks played well today. Graham, the All Blacks will be back. They are too good as a rugby nation will be angry against the Wallabies. They will be angry against the Wallabies. And the Wallabies will be angry as well because they lost today. That sets that game up absolutely beautifully for rugby fans. Graham, Mark, your heart must have dropped when Noah went off. It did, Graham. 100% right. I actually said to I wrote it down. I wrote it down here, Graham. Noah Hotham injured, goes off. HIA suspect, but also looks like his ankle's gone. Finlay Christie's on. End of game for All Blacks. That was my notes, Graham. Absolutely authentic here. Eric, Mark, do you do live commentary also? Look, Eric, I don't know whether you've been following my channel for a while, but I'm currently working, excuse me, I'll just adjust this. I'm currently working behind the scenes with World Rugby, trying to get us YouTubers the access to the broadcast rights so that we can actually use that to do live commentary. I'm not making a lot of headway with that, to be honest. And we've all been threatened with copyright problems if we use any live footage from games. So I'm trying to convince World Rugby, along with some other people, that it's a good thing for the game of rugby to grow across the world if people like us can contribute in that way. But there's some old mindsets that we have to win over. So I'll keep you tuned on that. I would love to do live commentary of games, but at the moment it's not possible. There's your answer. Nick 007, one of the New Zealand commentators, I think it was Nisbet, said the ABs looked tired at halftime. He was right. I think both teams looked tired at halftime, Nick, to be honest, to me. They both went full gas. Pierre, easy to disrupt conventional Bok game plan. The erratic replacements disrupted that. Yes. Yes, but this wasn't a conventional Bok game plan, was it? This was next level. This was like a car with a turbocharged button in the second half. Rougeau, thanks for the views. Got to go. Good luck in the next matches. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate you taking your time to be here. Chanda, Russie should have tried this lineup earlier. Ethan Hooker was awesome. All of a sudden, the box looked great with huge depth. Yep. It's been coming, though, Chunda, hasn't it? It's been coming, this. And now it's here. Joshua Hendricks tells me that Colby and Quagga also converted from 7s to 15-man rugby. They did indeed. And look how brilliant they're playing. So Leroy Carter hopefully has a great future with the All Blacks. Let's hope he gets a chance. David says he agrees with Pierre. Yes. Yeah, I agree with you guys. It's a good point. The All Blacks were facing a different set of players than they had thought they were going to be facing. Very good point. And as I always talk about, RG came on and did that fantastic couple of offloads in a couple of the breakdown areas that just made a difference, right? Chanda says, this is the best rugby championship we have witnessed in years. Bledisloe Cup this year will be highly competitive. No question about it. No question about it. Eric, Mark, I enjoy your channel. I'm here. I'm new here. I subscribed today. Good man, Eric. Thank you. Lovely to have you here. The only rule we have is we're respectful to all rugby fans across the world. I'm not going to stand for any BS on this channel in the comment section. So if someone comes along here and is rude to you and your comments, then I will give them the red card and they will be gone, Eric. So this is a place where we can all come and share our opinions without being victimized. Gavin Smith asks, hi, Mark, do you think that Tony Brown's hand is all over the box style of play today, and how dangerous is it for the challengers if the box can adapt to a different style of rugby? Well, Gavin, I'll tell you what, Tony Brown's hand is involved in the process, but as I said earlier in the chat today, that I think that it takes a whole group of coaches to bring together. You know, the forward work is just as important. The forward work is just as important as the backs, right? And this different style of rugby, it's going to be very dangerous because it shows that the box are adaptable. And I think this is what Russie's plan is really heading towards the Rugby World Cup. He wants the box to be able to play a very efficient 10-man game of rugby if they have to. And if they're coming up against a defensive line that they can't penetrate, he still wants to be able to go to that 10-man game to be able to win games. But having this ability to go wide and to play against teams like New Zealand like this makes everything very, very different. Yes, very different. Devi, respect is very important. It is indeed, Devi. And if you're a member of my channel in any way, then respect is given here. Eric, I like that, Mark. Be brutal like the box scrum. I'll do my best, Eric. I don't think I'm that brutal, though. Pierre, I'm a South African in Papua New Guinea as an expat. It was refreshing to see quality rugby union in a world where mostly league exists. NRL can learn from this. They just crash into one another. You're absolutely right, Pierre. I've spent quite a bit of time in Port Moresby over the years, my friend, up in Real as well, and up in the gold mines. I love the Papua New Guinea people. It's an interesting place, isn't it, Pierre? That part of the world. Very, very different. Love the Papua New Guinea. Yeah, rugby league, of course. Very strong stronghold up there. Lehea Gold Mine. That's what I meant to say, Pierre, up in Papua New Guinea. Spent some time up there. Sean Gunter. Oz, New Zealand, South Africa have one home game left. RG's none to their detriment. No, Sean, no. No. Sean, the Argentine team is fantastic on the road. They've just beaten Australia today in Australia. They beat the Kiwis in New Zealand last year. They beat the British and Irish Lions in Dublin this year. And they can go to Twickenham and beat South Africa over there as well. So no, they're not at a disadvantage. There's probably more Argentines living in London than there are in Buenos Aires. That's a joke. But, Jacques, cheers, Mark. Got to run. Enjoy your day. I will. Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining us. What do we got? 5:36 in the morning. It's almost time for my breakfast tacos. Potato. Mark, great chat. Can't wait to see your videos. I'm hopping off for the night. Thank you, Potato. Lovely to have you here. Gluten FC. This was devastating from South Africa. It was. Derek, just subscribe to your channel. Thank you, Derek. Nice to have you here. Make sure you comment on all my videos. I'd love to hear your point of view on all the things that we're sharing. Peter, let's thank the mastery of Tony Brown. Yes, let's, but also all the coaches. It's a team game. Everybody played their role. Just like when all the All Blacks are blaming Razor, there's other coaches that have a problem as well. Gluten FC, no physicality with the All Blacks. Second half just fell off badly. They did, didn't they? Yep, they fell off badly. Ray Clark, what a shameful All Black performance. Yes. Have a nice day, Jacques. Eric, Russie 3, Razor 1. The rivalry is on. 3-1. I don't know if you can call that a rivalry. It's a whitewash. Anyway, yeah, let's hope the rivalry is on. Yes. Pierre, Argentina has a good balance of experience and new players and can easily be as physical as the Welsh. As the Welsh? Okay. Are the Welsh physical? I guess so. Gus. Hi, Gus. Welcome to the chat. DV all class at 12 for the Boks. They are a deadly force. Yes. Yes, Damien Willemse, absolute standout tonight. Who got man of the match? I didn't see that. Can someone tell me who got man of the match? Was it Damien Willemse or Colby? David. G'day, David. Getting late this side, hopping off. Thank you for the takes. We'll check your analysis once done. Thank you, David. Have a good day, evening. Pierre, Damien got man of the match. Okay, brilliant. Thank you. DV, thank you also. Yeah, he deserved that, didn't he? He played brilliant. I don't know who picks that man of the match thing anymore. I don't think it's the TV networks anymore that do that. Gluten FC, twice now, 30 unanswered points from Australia and South Africa. Yes. Yes, it's a problem. Kreisen, Argentina will be met with a very fast blitz defense. This won't allow them to impose their running game as easily as they have to this point. Yeah, okay. One of the things you've got to watch out for Argentina, though, is that their depth of their backline is much bigger than the All Blacks do. And if they do get Tomas Albanos back at number 10, they will be a deadly force. Do not underestimate Argentina, my friends. Please don't do that. Pierre, Colby nearly became third Bok to score hat-trick against the All Blacks since Ray Mort and Marius Joubert. I remember Ray Mort. He was a great player. Gluten FC, New Zealand offer nothing in attack. Yeah, I would agree. They offer nothing in defence either in that second half. Gus reckons that Ruben Luff needs to start at fullback or shift Jordan back. Just stop mucking around, rip the Band-Aid off. Yeah. I don't want Jordan to go back to fullback. You all know why. G'day, Wade. Welcome to the chat. Love your channel, Mark. I'm married to a Kiwi. Needless to say, it was miserable for me last week and miserable for us. You've got an interesting household, Wade. Good on you. Good on you. Oh, well, you can both celebrate together, can't you? Look at the positive side, not the negative side. People always get so down when something goes wrong. This is a great opportunity for the All Blacks to learn, to go away and think about, okay, we got it wrong. We've got to change. That's what South Africa do when we beat them. Pierre says, Lebok better place kicking this game, his Achilles heel. Yep, he's got more confidence, Pierre, this year. That's what I reckon. I'm seeing more confidence in Mani Lebok, and that's a good thing for Argentina, for the Stormers and everybody else. The AI underdog pick. That's an interesting handle. 9, 13, 11, and 15. Move Vibe back to 6. Fabian back to start. Parker to 8. Satiti on bench and Karefi off. Said to rest new and start Tossie. One thing I would think of watching once we go again. Yep, I'll share in my when I do my in-depth review of this game, I will share my thoughts around that. But I hear you. Certainly is. You don't want to peak now. No, that's true. Kryzen says, I don't think New Zealand played terribly. Boss did not let them dictate. Never let the pressure off. Even in the first half, just didn't convert. New Zealand is still quality. Okay. Thank you for that. That's a good, humble response. Sean, excellent chat, Mark. Enjoy your breakfast. Cheers. Thanks, Sean. Have a good day, evening, celebration. The dual playmaker of Willemse and Lebok and first Sasha Lebok paid off. Was excited to see how it would turn out. Exactly. Totally different energy in Eden Park. It was, yes. ABs do not get to disrupt the breakdown as much as last week. Box was great on the day. Dominant scrums, cleaned up on mistakes in the second half. Could have been worse. Yes, agree. What about this Bok backline against Argentina? Grant, Lebok, Hooker, Damien Willemse, Moody, Colby, Sasha, KLA playing off the bench. Let me think about that one, Eric. I'll come back to you. The breakdown. Mark, the secret to beating the Boxers to make them favourites for the match. We seem to need the edginess of being the underdog. Psychological, eh? Ray Clark says, go the All Blacks. Yes. Let's not get too despondent from one loss, my friends. Bal says, I only got one thing to say. Please, Russie, keep this team playing together, please. I wonder whether he's going to. Do you think this team's going to start against Argentina? Something tells me it's not. He's going to back his players no matter who goes on the field, though, isn't he? Is Russie. G'day, Ted. Welcome to the chat. Thank you for your comment. Hi there. The All Blacks gave up after 50 minutes. Where was the leadership and the drive to win the game? Full credit to the Springboks for a fantastic performance, but I've never seen an All Blacks team die. Yeah, it's going to be a few saying that. Bale says, I doubt it. Yeah, I think we'll see a different team as well. Crazen says, different team. Pollard will play a big part in the Argentine game. Scary backline, aggressive forwards. Needs to be cleverly managed territory game, in my opinion. You might be well right there. DV also says that Rassie will make changes for that game. PS says, hope Drake doesn't bet on the Springboks against Argentina. Yeah, good one, Pierre. Yeah, that's a good take too. 4 teams have always provided good fly halves, become more competitive each year. So we've got Tomas Albanos for the Argentines. We've got James O'Connor playing well for Australia. We've got Sasha and Mani and Andre playing for the Box, and we've got Bowden Barrett. Okay. There we go. Red Rock. I've put all the stats of the games from round 1 to now in chat GBT, and it says Box and Australia have more chances to win. Okay. Let's see whether we can trust AI. I doubt it. Ray Clark, memo to all opposition. Box kick all day. You'll get possession back 100%. B. Kraus. I just got back from the stadium, Mark. I was at Eden Park last week. Well, the atmosphere at both was amazing. The respect across both fans was great. Oh, brilliant. Good to hear. The Wellingtonian people are nice people. They just speak a different language down there. I'm glad you enjoyed your time at both grounds. You're a lucky person to get to Eden Park last week and the Cape Town this week. Looked pretty cold there. Was it cold? Must have been. The wind was terribly cold. Yeah, there's a lot of respect between the fans, right? The South African fans this week can feel the All Blacks pain from last week, vice versa, right? I think it's good it ended up 1-1, against the series. Makes everything exciting for the future. The greatest rivalry tour next year sets it all up beautifully, doesn't it? I'm excited. Hope you guys are, and girls. Any other thoughts on the game or games? Australia, Argentina. That was a brilliant game. James Slipper, 148 caps for the Wallabies. Nothing more exciting than All Blacks in South Africa. I don't know. I was watching a good game between Bay of Plenty and Hawke's Bay today on the NPC in New Zealand. That was pretty exciting. Alana, welcome. The All Blacks still going to lose a lot. There's nothing to be scared of. Okay. DV, 2 most successful rugby teams in the world. Okay. Yep. 2 good rugby teams. There's plenty of others, though, in there. We saw 2 more play today. Did I miss anybody's comment? James Slipper has got to be the most handsome wallaby ever. Said no one. Tainui said no one, my friend. Angus Bell, he's getting my vote for the bench player of the year. Angus Bell, Australia, brilliant. Watch out for Angus Bell causing havoc in Eden Park in 2 weeks' time, my friends. Thumbs up. Welcome. We are still quality played, a fresh South African team. We're in 38 minutes away from amazing side. Players out, Rogard, Clark, Finganuku, Ratama, Taylor, Iwani. Iwani! Tupalotu. There you go. I told somebody in the chat that we'd be saying we're missing Rico Iwani, and here it is. Thumbs up. Delivers. DV reckons top 10 rugby teams can beat anyone or lose to anyone in the top 10. Who's in the top 10 now? Fiji. Can Fiji beat the Springboks, do you think, DV? There's a question. I said after Eden Park, we still have a problem with aerial ball. SA game management was top-notch, slowing down, going high, and picking up the pace at set piece. Line speed was accurate. Yeah. Well, what they did brilliantly was use the high ball, turnover ball back again, and then go wide and get through us. And they did it time and time again. Bet. When did we ever in the Rugby Championship see 4 teams with 2 wins and 2 losses for all teams? Magnificent. Very lekker. Very lekker indeed. Brilliant competition this year. What if it ends 6 wins and 6 losses for everyone when it comes down to bonus points? It will come down to bonus points. There's no doubt about it. DV, I'm not arguing with you, okay? Maybe top 8, yes. Fiji could, though, maybe. I'm not disagreeing with you. Penny Timms, hi Mark, many thanks. My player of the year, Visa. Okay, that's a big one, big call. I'm going to have to think about that. Who's my player of the year so far? Elena says, it feels like the All Blacks gave everything at Eden Park. It's a good point, Elena. I think that emotionally and physically, that was a huge game, wasn't it, for both teams? And I think the All Blacks probably have shown now they came out on the other side of that one a bit more drained. NZ Sia, would like to see Leicester unleashed in Aussie games. I think you might have some supporters in that, my friend. Graham says, I wonder how the end of year to Northern Hemisphere will pan out for the Southern Hemisphere. I'm getting tired. Southern Hemisphere teams. It's going to be very interesting, Graham, isn't it? I can't wait for that game between Ireland and the All Blacks in Chicago. That's going to be very exciting, as is the England game. And then, of course, South Africa, France. There's some liquor rugby coming up. Scotland in the top 10. Are Scotland going to beat the All Blacks at home at Murrayfield for the first time in their history this year? A lot of people are saying yes. I'm still proud as AB supporter from Auckland. As you should be, Champagne Lord. As you should be. We should always be proud of the All Blacks. Win, lose or draw. I think it's some time for Clippers and Coke. Let's get some Clippers and Coke, everyone. I might have a braai this afternoon before the World Athletics Championship starts. Eric, Wilco is the player of the year. Okay. It's got to be up there. Everybody was giving it to Oxen Chair last year, so it better be Wilco this year, right? Ray Clark, be great to see Rassi call Professor Smith new coach. Okay. Michael Weber, got a feeling this is the end of the line for a few older Boks. Going to be interesting. I don't think so, Michael. Maybe. How would everyone like having Fiji and Japan in this competition? I don't know. Let's ask everybody. Bal ask everybody in the chat, how would everyone like having Fiji and Japan in this competition, in the Rugby Championship? Let me know in the comments. Ray Clark, Ardy to captain. Yes, please. It's time, I think. Pierre, I wouldn't pitch annoying Nick White as player of the year, but since he backpedaled on his retirement, he plays better footy. Yes, he has played better footy. 100%. He's giving a bit of cheek to the referee today, though, I saw. Player of the year will be Cheslin Colby, says Pierre. Okay. Alana says that Scott Robertson is struggling with his game plan. Devi says, I'm going to have a braai soon. Good on you, Devi. Enjoy. Ray Clark, Holland to start with Paddy when fit. Yeah, we miss old Paddy, don't we? That's one of the things that these games have shown to me, yeah? Patrick Tuipulotu is a fantastic player for the All Blacks. Will there be any selection changes after this result? NZC asks. Probably about 15, I'd say. I'd like to see Fiji get more exposure, but concerned the competition gets too big, too much travelling. Yeah, I'd like to see Fiji in there too. Ollie says, Razor should be sacked. No game plan. He just isn't good enough. But he won last weekend, Ollie. What are you talking about? One loss. And another one to Argentina. And maybe lose the Bledisloe. Devi, sorry about my spelling. I'm tired. Don't worry, Devi. I'm tired too. Spelling, vocabulary, it all goes when you're tired, doesn't it? Ray Clark, Revere's Rihanna start at 10, no cameo, 10 minutes, 50 usual. Cool. Yeah, no, I'm not. I don't think Rihanna's up to it at the moment still. I watched him a couple of times. Don't think he's there yet. Eric says, problem is you cannot expect props to do the flashy stuff. Look at their impact and job they have to do, which is massive for the Boks and Bills equals Wilco. Yeah, I agree with you on that one, for sure. Graham says, in this crazy world of so much division and anger, isn't it great to show in unity for the game and mutual respect? Thanks, Mark. You're welcome, Graham. That's what my channel's all about, mate. And just a reminder to anybody in the chat that doesn't usually watch my videos, if you come to my channel and you show any disrespect towards me or any of the people making comments, you will be red carded and removed, because we are rugby fans who respect each other no matter what country we come from and no matter what else somebody else shares in the comments. So just remember that. Huh? Rod Burgess. Welcome, Rod. Thanks for joining. What's up with All Black Tupou Vai showboating? I think he gave the box energy. He obviously doesn't understand SA mentality. Well, I can tell you one thing, Rod. He's not smirking tonight. I can guarantee you that. Tupou Vai probably learned a lesson from this one, like many of the Kiwis. Gluten FC, yes, but you have to back up those big wins, not get hammered next match. Yes, it's important to go back to bad, and no team have been able to do that so far, have they? So round 6 is going to be, round 5 is going to be very exciting, isn't it, folks? Ray Clark says, Tupaia start at 12 and Fainga Nuku at 13, Love at 15. Okay. I'll talk about that when I put out my debrief video on this particular game, Ray. Give you my thoughts around that. Dave Lee, Finlay's just not good enough. We have a real problem in that position, only because we've got a lot of injuries, Dave. When Cam Roygaard's back, when Ratima's back, when Noah Hotham's back, Kyle Preston, we've got 4 very good halfbacks who can't stay on the field. We won't even be talking about Finlay Christie in 6 months' time. So I'm not going to waste much more energy on the guy. Crazen, Artie should be captain. We'll give extra lift. Barrett is a good player, but energy goes further than fitness and physicality. Yes. But it's also the voice on the ground, isn't it? It's the body language. It's the mana. It's the show of the man. That's what we're missing. Scott Barrett doesn't have that, in my opinion. Ilana, there's no sting in this All Blacks team. No, there wasn't tonight. That's for sure in the second half. Hello, Paul. Welcome to the chat. Thank you for your comment. He says, hello, Mark. Why did Razor change his winning team? Bring Richie in at 10. McKenzie is too small for the box. What happened to Caleb Clark? Okay, let's look at all those things you just said. Change the winning team. Well, he wanted to play an expansive game of rugby, and I agreed with his selection for what it's worth. But don't forget, we lost Noah Hotham in the beginning of the game. Richie at 10, yeah. Okay, I think we can do better by the time we get to the Rugby World Cup in 2027. McKenzie is too small for the box. That got shown up tonight, didn't it? He got smashed. Yep. He did some good things, Damien McKenzie, so I'm not going to get all the haters out there after me again, but he got put into that 15 jersey to start the game, which I said was wrong. He got beaten in the high ball because he's too small. And when he did catch the high ball, which he did on a couple of occasions, he got pummeled because he's a small guy. He can't stand up in the tackle like a Geordie Barrett can, for instance. Elena, we need Big Jim at 12 and Leicester at 13. Big Jim, he's not that big, is he, against Bundy Aki and against Damien Willemse? He's not that big. That could be his problem. I think I'm bigger than Big Jim. Belly fat, anyway. Eric, I want to hear John Kerwin's thoughts on this match. Do you? Okay. Well, I'm sure he's going to have a lot to say about it. He might be humbled for once. Paul Floors, I stay in South Africa. Good on you, Paul. That's liquor, mate. Liquor. Pierre, remember, Box also have small players. Colby, Ardenser. Yes, they do, Pierre, but here's the difference. When you watch Colby go up for a high ball, He's got very good technique, and he's a lot stockier than what Damien McKenzie is, if you're making that particular comparison. And RSA is also very skillful under the high ball. So it's not just the size, although in tonight's game it was a big issue. And here's the other difference as well, Pierre, that I'll point out on that fact while we're talking about it, is that the box high kicking strategy is very contestable a high percentage of the time, whereas you find a lot of the time when the All Blacks are kicking to a Colby or RSA, etc., it's not always as contestable. And that's been part of the All Black kicking strategy this year. So I'll just throw that out there for 2 cents worth. Devi, I'm going to a braai. Have a good one. Was a fun chat. Enjoy the braai. Thank you for your contribution, Devi. Hope to see you again. Tainui. Yeah, I think Will Jordan on the wing is the next All Blacks captain. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Kreisen, box backline just more physical, hence injuries today. Yes. Humble. John Kerwin, you sure? Oh, I've got to stick up for my fellow Kiwis, right? Come on. We live in hope, Bar. We live in hope. Red line. All Blacks number 5 really pissed me off today. Did he? Don't worry. Tupou Vai, for all those South African viewers that are upset about Tupou Vai, he's got the smirk wiped off his face today. I can assure you he's not sitting in the dressing rooms with a smirk on his face anymore. Ronwin Juries. Why is the All Blacks not playing their style of game? We all know what the box DNA is. What's the DNA of the All Blacks? We know it to be quick running rugby from a box supporter. Ronwin, here's my take on your questions. The All Blacks don't know how to play the game with the team they've got at the moment. They want to play open, expansive rugby, but they're not having the players to do it on a consistent basis. And as far as the box DNA goes, well, your DNA is actually changing right now. You're becoming a team that can play both expansive rugby as well as 10-man rugby. That's my view. Devi will be here again. Good. You'll be welcome back. Eric, where is the Blues wing? The guy with the big Wilco thighs. Not sure who you're talking about there, Eric. Schalk Vermalen. A bit late to the chat, Mark. What's your general feeling, view about the match? Schalk, welcome to the chat. Welcome for joining us. Fantastic performance by the Springboks in the second half. Outstanding performance by a lot of the players in the Springboks team. I thought the All Blacks did very well to lead at halftime. There was a lot of pressure from the box in the first 20 minutes, and the All Blacks scrambled well to be able to maintain that. And then after 50 minutes, when the floodgates opened, it was one-way traffic, and the class of the whole team shone through from the Springboks. That's my take on the game. Outstanding performance from Damien Willemse, and I would be having that guy in my number 12 jersey from now on for the Springboks. And I thought Mani Lebok played well when he came on, and I thought that the Springboks reserves who came on at different times in the first half did very well. So a complete performance against an All Black team that seemed to be running away from their own shadows in the second half. Schalk, that's what I will say. Alana says, All Blacks need more physical backline. Carter was very good, though. Yes, I thought Carter was very good. More physical backline. Yeah, Damien McKenzie's too small. Darren, welcome, Darren. It's hilarious how some Kiwis are blaming the venue for losing. Yeah, Kiwis will blame everything for losing. Probably already started on the ref, have they? Look, the All Blacks haven't got a good record in Wellington, Darren. That's a fact, my friend. So if we have a look at the results now, we've got 17 games played in Wellington for the All Blacks against South Africa. 9 wins, 5 losses now, and 2 draws. So it's not a very good hunting ground for the All Blacks. But yeah, Kiwis will complain about anything. So do South Africans when they lose. The All Blacks need Mo'unga back, do they? Okay, some people say that. Alana says, why are the All Blacks not putting up phrases like they used to? Maybe it's the players, Alana. They're not connecting, are they? They're just not connecting. Eric, Caleb Clark, that is the one. Yes, he was available for selection, but didn't get selected in this game. He's the one with the big thighs. You're right, Eric. Thanks for reminding me of that. Ray Clark, for the sake of AB Rugby, change going to come. It needs to, after a shambolic performance. Okay, Ray, if you're going to say that, what change do you want to see come? Give me the details. Pierre, something to remember. Wellington is always personal for Russie. It goes back a few years watching. Yes, it does. Chasing the Sun. Brilliant documentary. Yes, Russie and Wellington. Yes. Oh, now I remember. Okay. I keep getting reminded of good stuff. That's why I love these chats. You guys keep educating me. I feel Carter is too good to be out on the wing. Where would you put him then? If you think he's too good to be on the wing. I think he's good on the wing. Let's bet him into the team first and give him a few games. Begro, as good as Damien was at 12, when he went to 15 and Esterhazen came on, that's when stuff really clicked, I think. Yeah, there could have been a couple of reasons for that, though, Begro. It could have been that the game was at that stage. I thought I saw a lot of good stuff from Damien while he was at 12. But that's me looking at it. Vernon, what a game. Great 15-man rugby by the box. Can't say more. No, it was. Brilliant. Phoenix, New Zealand commentary has to be the best in the world, unbiased. I really enjoy listening to Nisbet and Marshall. Yeah, they're good guys, aren't they? They're good ambassadors for New Zealand rugby, and they're very fair. So, yeah, nice comment, Phoenix. Thank you for that. Gregory, Bok fan, well done, Boks, this week. Well done, All Blacks last week. To All Black fans, just remember that 3 weeks ago, the Boks conceded 38 unanswered points and home loss to the Wallabies. Amazing sport we all love. Yeah, great comment, Gregory. Thank you for that. Rugby's the winner, isn't it? And let's go back to that first game against the Australians at Ellis Park for all the pain that it gave the Springboks. You know how we feel tonight now, don't you? But yeah, rugby's the winner. That's what we've learned, isn't it, over the last number of weeks? Pierre, I feel sorry for Australia first game. All Blacks always take a loss out on the next game. I pegged them for a win. We'll be supporting them, especially now that I'm in the Pacific. Yeah, I feel sorry for the All Blacks next game. Aussies are coming off a defeat as well, Pierre. They'll be up for it. And if they get Will Skelton back, which could be the case, it's going to be a rumble at the Garden. Bring it on. Ivanos. G'day, Mark. Change needs to happen. The coach and assistant, something is definitely not working. Let's call it out now, Mark. Okay, what's not happening? What is it? Have you put your finger on it, Ivanos? Do you know exactly what's wrong? I don't. I don't know who's to blame. Alana, when is the All Blacks going to scout someone like Lomu and surprise the world? Alana, we have someone like him coming. There, shall I put it out there now? No, I shouldn't. I should keep quiet. There's somebody coming, Alana, that's like Lomu. He's not far away. We've got the talent. It's coming. Pierre, McCall should be technical defence coach. Sevilla should be captain. I agree with you on the captain side of things. I'm not too sure about Richie McCall coming into that, but who knows? Let's see. Changes needed. Professor Smith coach. Proven international record. New captain. Ardi leader of the men. Rehana at 10. Tupaya 12. Fainganuku at 13 and Love at 15. Okay, Ray. You've challenged me to something there. I'll put it out in my debrief video, what I'm thinking about for the All Blacks going forward. Kryzen Box lost to Wallabies miserably and have now done the same to the ABs. Nothing to panic about. We will see after playing the Northern Hemisphere team soon again. Yes, exactly right, Kryzen. No need to push the panic button yet, but we've got to learn from our mistakes as well. True. Pierre, talking about Australia, Suwa Ali was a good signing from the Roosters and Blues. Yes, of course he was. Top signing. Joe Schmidt was a pretty good signing for Rugby Australia too, wasn't he, Pierre? Poor Floors. Yes, keep quiet. Okay, promise. I won't say anything. Johan West, welcome to the chat. Schneeman, you monster. Better luck next time, All Blacks. Oops, you got 3 games in South Africa. Can't wait. RG played fantastic tonight. You know he's one of my favourites, right? I keep talking about him. Ivanos, the players look like they're not responding to Razor and crew. We still have time to make a change. Yes, we do, but will we? That's the question, Ivanos. We have time to change, but it seems like we don't like change too much. The ABs beat the Boks playing Boks rugby last weekend. Today, the Boks beat the All Blacks playing All Blacks rugby. They did. Funny things are going on in the world of rugby, aren't they? And the Australians and the Argentines play All Black style rugby. So now we're all playing the same kind of rugby. So what's going to happen? Who's going to come out on top when everyone's playing the same type of rugby? France play that type of rugby as well, don't they? De Monte, well done to South Africa. What an amazing win. The best performance I've ever seen in a half from a team. Yeah, it was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Perfect Days says, what was the point of blooding Fabian and talking about the need for size and having him off the side against the big boys? I think there's a bit of man management going on there. Perfect Days. There's still a few games to go this year, and Fabian Holland is a very big part of this All Black component. So I think he was getting a bit of a rest. Nah, this was Bok Rugby, pressure cookie at too late tire. Yes, it was. Chris Lord, welcome. SA beat our scrum, beat our line out, beat us under the high ball, beat our attack and our defence, and we were out-coached. Outplayed in all parts of the game. We were blown off the park. That could be the headlines in the New Zealand Herald in the morning. Very well said, Chris Lloyd. Everything you wrote there is true. No disinformation. Pierre, playing the same type of rugby. What rule is World Rugby changing next or move banning next year? Yeah, let World Rugby come in and destroy everything, right? When all the teams are playing like this. Okay, Shane's had a go at putting the All Black team together here. We've got Kyle Preston at number 9, Ruben Love at number 10, Carter at 11, 12, Clark. Okay, interesting. Lester Fainganuku at 13, Will Jordan at 14, Geordie at the back. Bowden Barrett, 23. Yes, I like that. I like Caleb Clark at number 12. That makes a lot of sense. I always would have liked to see Julian Savia at number 12 for the All Blacks. I think that would have gone well. So tell me, what happened to the All Blacks in the second half performance by the Springboks in the second half? Well, one team played exceptionally well and the other team didn't play at all because they weren't allowed to. It was too good. DeMonte 11. Mark, this is the best Springbok team ever. They remind me of Australia from 1999 to 2001 when they were the best team in the world in those 2 years. Best Springbok team ever. Whoa, that's a big call, isn't it? Is this the best Springbok team ever? And should we be saying that on one brilliant performance? Let's see. If they back it up, perhaps. Colin Anderson, welcome. Rassi now has his formula. He does. He's had it for a while, though, but tonight we saw it being executed. Cecil, no team's better than South Africa versus All Blacks. Yeah, it's a great rivalry, isn't it? Congratulations on your fantastic win today. Ray Clark, outthought, outcoached, outplayed, outnumbered. Yeah. I'm a massive Diolandi fan, but it's going to be hard to argue not playing Willemse at 12 from now on. Sensational performance. Yes. Yes, you're right. As a South African, I can say best Springbok team ever as yet. We still have a long way to go. Yes, I agree. Will the All Blacks bounce back from this heavy defeat? Yes, they will. Of course they will. The All Blacks have to come back. Ollie says, contract Joe Schmidt after he finishes with the Aussies. Well, I think the horse is bolted on that one, Ollie. I've heard a little bit of a rumor that Joe Schmidt's already determined where he's going next. I wonder if that news will leak out soon. Sean Bishop says, the All Blacks were blown off the park. The All Blacks forwards are softies. Go Bocha. There wasn't much resolve there tonight, was there, Sean, from the All Blacks? That's for sure. Would say they hold the biggest winning margin on New Zealand soil. That is a big call. So I know, well, that was a turnaround. Expected a Bok win, but not a blowout. Don't think it's the best yet. Need consistency. But that second half was pretty special. It was very special. And I agree with you on the consistency. Let's see a few more games like that from the box, and then we can really start shouting from the rafters. Ray Clark says McCall would have left his guts out on that field. Didn't see much of that from the All Blacks. That's a true statement, Ray. There weren't many out there prepared to die for the cause in black jerseys tonight. Hello, Ryan from Cape Town. That was really such a dominant game by the Springboks. It was. I hope all the Bries are fired up. Everybody's having a nice time. Rassi is a rugby genius. Go Bocha. Yes, the All Blacks are crying in the changing rooms. Yep. Just like last weekend, the South Africans were. Huh? 1-1. Was this the scariest team has ever looked? It looked pretty good, Blank Media. That's for sure. Mornay Lagrange says, what do you think of the Australians in your upcoming test matches against them? I can't wait for the Eden Park test in 2 weeks' time, and I hate these 2-week gaps we have between games. But it's going to be special. It's going to be very, very special at Eden Park in 2 weeks' time because the Aussies are going to believe, and the All Blacks have to do it again. They've got to come back and prove, don't they? Alvin, hard to believe the Wallabies are the top of the log in the championship. As a South African, I would never have called that one after 4 games, but now it's game on. Yeah, And the surprises have not finished yet, Alvin. Stand by. There's going to be still pretty much to play for in the next 2 rounds. Expect the unexpected. That's what we know about this rugby championship. The AI underdog pick. Sean definitely hurts, but Boca played solid. Yeah, they did. Ivanos, I don't think we've made any progress, Mark. We got trashed on our home turf. I don't see progress. Changes in at least the assistant need to be made. Would Dave Rennie join and be an assistant? It's an interesting one. I have to think about that. Dave Rennie. Jamie Joseph. Who needs to come in? Does anyone need to come in? Shane, so gutted for Proctor. Form fell off the cliff in black, not attacking enough. I really want to see the following 2 game weeks. They're going to be quite interesting. They sure are. Please, Tupou, don't clap in the opposition faces. Not only Navy-like, but also fires up opposition, especially the rugged, mentally tough Springboks. Yep. I think Mr. Tupou Vai will be having a different look on his face tonight. Kryzen, that second half intensity cannot be done for 80 minutes. Other teams will be wary of that now. Yes. Sifo, sounds Ioane is your version of Jesse Creel. Oh, I don't know if that's pointed at me or what. Is it? You're having a go at me about Rico Ioane again. Some All Black fans would have wanted him to play today. Maybe he was the missing link. Argentina are going to give South Africa a run for their money, and Australia just need to find a way to keep the All Blacks from running away with it in the first half. From Gold Coast. Yes. I agree. If Australia can put together a first half of rugby and stay with the All Blacks, it's going to be game on. It's going to be game on anyway. Chris Lord, I genuinely think the players have lost confidence in Razor's coaching group and game plan. They seem lost and uninspired. What did Leon McDonald see from the beginning? Yes. We still don't know about that, do we? Everybody's kept quiet about that. Bigro, New Zealand mate, calling for Razor to move on. If that happened, who would you like to see take the helm? I'm not calling for Razor to move on. So no one. There's a lesson to be learned from this for everybody who's a fan of New Zealand rugby. It's not just about Razor. Look at the players on the field, first of all. Dilshan, good morning. Welcome. We've been going for 2.5 hours. It's 6:30 in the morning here in Cancun. And your comment is, brilliant game by the Boks. They turned adversity into opportunity and good on them. Record loss and 30-plus unanswered point for the ABs. Well, speechless. Yes, a lot of Kiwis are speechless, but a lot more are recognising the great performance by the South Africans. And if you've just joined the chat from South Africa or anywhere else in the world, congratulations to South Africa. A fantastic performance in the second half. Absolutely brilliant. David Smith says, reminded me of the Boks second half in Alice, total capitulation. Yes, I guess both teams have been guilty of that this year, haven't they, in the Rugby Championship? David Smith says, funny thing is, Razor's last 14 results are the same as Russie's. Yeah, it's always the last game we remember, though, isn't it, David? That's the thing, mate. You're only as good as your last game, they used to tell you. Kryzen, All Blacks will have to be on their best behaviour against Wallabies. Yes, they will. Bigro. No, a mate of mine, I meant. Apologies. Okay, I get you now. No worries. SA under 20 players are waiting for a chance. Let the old players go and see what's coming. Well, we know what's coming, Monster. Plenty more talent. That's what I'm seeing. Some of those under 20 players, absolutely fantastic. Dilshan, Mark, other assistant coaches doing their jobs. They knew what was coming. All Blacks were outdone in the second half in all departments. Finally, we saw what Tony has done for the Boks. Dilshan, there was a very good comment made prior to you joining the chat that talked about how the All Blacks probably prepared for a particular team that was going to play, but within the first half, we saw 5 changes in the Springbok team, and that was bringing a totally different look to the game, and that's something that had an impact on the game, we feel. What do you think of that? Colin Anderson. G'day, Colin from Bali. I was watching this game with a French mate. His final comment was that the Boks keep playing like this, they will have their 5th World Cup. They were pretty outstanding, weren't they? Patrick. G'day, Patrick. Hi, Mark. Love your channel. Enjoying the championship this year. Good for rugby. Boks supporter. I have huge respect for the All Blacks and New Zealand supporters. Thank you. Yeah, it's been fantastic rugby. Expect the unexpected in the rugby championship this year. That's what we're seeing, right? Sino. Yes. Changes in coaching is not the solution for New Zealand, coming from the turnstile that has been the Wallabies coaching group over the last decade or more. It's a single game. We can still win the championship. That's the spirit. Willemse showed us why he's the youngest to win a double. He's going to lead us to the three-peat. 2 years away, the Rugby World Cup. Long time in the game of rugby. But he's very good. I don't think the Australians can beat the All Blacks at Eden Park. It's, of course, the All Blacks fortress. Whoa. Don't put too much money against the Wallabies. Truth is, the game turned on the head with Cheslin's intercept. Honestly, I'm not sure if the scoreline would have been anywhere near that. If otherwise, momentum is huge. All Blacks were on fire until then. The thing I did like about the All Blacks after that try was scored by Cheslin Colby from the intercept was that they kept playing their open game. They didn't go into their shell, so I give them credit for that. Ray Clark, possibly the only French able to stop the Boks juggernaut the next World Cup. Hey, we're 2 years away from the Rugby World Cup. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves, my friends. Kreisen, thanks for the good chat, Mark. Enjoy your braai, my bot. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your participation and have a good day, evening, afternoon, morning. The Boks have suffered 2 tough losses, but they stuck with their kicking game. They were brilliant at collecting the high ball. They place so much emphasis on it. When it works, it pays off. It does. Devon, you're fantastically right. This team really knows their DNA. They do. And maybe that's a good thing with these young players, right? They're creating their own new DNA. That's the thing Rusty's got here. Ivanos, the frustrating thing is, Mark, that we're so much better and it's painful to watch. If the Boks first and Daylight second at the moment, unfortunately. Yeah, I hear you, Ivanos, but that's okay, mate. That's okay. It is painful to watch. I understand. But it's a wake-up call for New Zealand rugby, and that's a good thing. Just remember, the sun always comes up after the darkest hours, my friend. Talking of that, it's just about coming up here. Yes, it is. The sun is coming up. 6:30. Bal says, I can see the Pumas taking the competition this year. How would that be for the rugby in South America from a Bok fan? I would love the Pumas to win the championship this year. Be fantastic for rugby across the world, wouldn't it? The PMVC, hi Mark, I was wrong in my pre-game comment. I said it would be close, but the Bokker gave it to the All Blacks. Go Bokker. Oh, look, the PMVC, a lot of people were wrong in their pre-game comment. Absolutely. You're not alone. So good on you for owning up. Chris Lord, we need Wayne Smith in the camp with the team on the weekly. He is inspiring for the players and is trusted, respected, and will make damn sure the coaches are held accountable. Yep, no argument from me of having Smithy involved. Rossi always keeps the world guessing. The nuke squad is coming. Okay, let's see the nuke squad. Not too soon, though. We've got to get over this one first. Devon, this will wake up the All Blacks. The Giant is not down for good. Look at the good that came after the Box lost 57-0. Yes, of course, the All Blacks will be back. Sam Wilson, the Rugby Championship, amazing. All teams, 2 wins, 2 losses. Yes, what a year it is. Mornay Lagrange, what do you think of the Australians this year? Think they are much improved than last year? Yeah. You must be new to my channel, Mornay, because if you've watched my videos, you'll be hearing me talking a lot of very positive thoughts about Joe Schmidt and the Australian Wallabies and how fantastic they've been in the last 12 months and where they're going, the trajectory that they're on. And even though they lost today, they showed us once again that they're not done for 80 minutes, are they? Sean, just because of one bad game, the Box are suddenly the favourite to win the World Cup. All Blacks was lower than bad today. Box was not good. That is only my opinion. Look at the tries of them. Okay, Sean, well, your views are respected here on this channel, of course. A lot of us will see it probably different. The Box were very good today in the second half in many of our opinions, but your opinion is respected here. So thank you for making it. How are we all going out there in rugby land? All okay? 2 games done today. 2 fantastic games. Got some good women's quarter-final games coming up. Actually, I think they're starting soon, aren't they? Oh. Chris Lord, Australia top of the table now. They are. Yes, they are. The AI underdog pick says Mexico is going to win the next Rugby World Cup. I can guarantee you that's not going to happen, my friend. That is not going to happen. They're a little ways away from being able to do that, that's for sure. Devon says we should assemble a team of the best Box and AB players with Rossi at the helm and send them north. Yeah, we should. But I would also include Argentinian and Wallabies in that team. Why not have a Southern Hemisphere Lions team that goes to the Northern Hemisphere, Devon, and takes them down? Monster R says, the only New Zealand king we respect is John Alomu. He's shaking in his grave today. Rest my king, South Africa, love you. It's a shame that you only respect John Alomu. There's a lot of Kiwis that should be respected. Mornay, I watch your videos. What are you doing in Mexico? At least hope that's where you are. Yes, I am in Mexico. Yes, Mornay. I am. I'm living in Mexico. I've been here for a number of years, my friend. Philip, that wasn't a loss. It was a cry for help. Oh, that's nicely put. I'm going to use that. Philip, thank you. I'll give you credit for it, though. That wasn't a loss. It was a cry for help. I love that. Please give me permission to use that, Philip. For help. Philip Kyle. That's almost the comment of the day, Philip. Well done on that one. Bal, Sean, come on, boy. How hurt are you? The Box were exceptional today, especially in the second. Yes. Cameron, I hate this new buzzword everyone is throwing around, DNA. this DNA that Razor need to wake up and make the hardcore players need to be retired. New Zealand Rugby needs to drop their stupid policy. I think it's the fans that talk a lot about the DNA, Cameron, isn't it? Not so much the coaches. Might be wrong. I've heard a lot of fans talking about the DNA. Here's hoping for another situation where the Rugby World Cup semi-finals turn into a rugby joke. Hopping off, you're a beast to have answered all our questions. Thanks. Float point. Yes, let's hope the Rugby Championship, well, it's going to continue to be fantastic. You're welcome. Thank you for joining the chat, Float point. It's great to have you here. Morne Legrand, how long are you living in Mexico? I've been here, this is my 4th year, Morne. 4 years in Mexico. Canada before that, Australia before that, Singapore before that, Hawaii before that, Belgium before that, Australia before that. That's the list. There you go. Now you know everywhere I've been. Pierre, this was a slaughtering, but New Zealand Rugby is not in trouble. They lost 35-7 and Twickenham ended up being the only team that could beat Ireland in the World Cup. There you go. Thank you, Pierre. Good, humble remark. Chris Lord, I agree. It was a cry for help. Put yourself in All Black players' shoes. Are you inspired with this current coaching group other than Jason Ryan? I can't feel the mana. Not trying to be negative. Chris, your comment is not taken as negative, my friend. You're entitled to your opinion. And you have a very good point. Maybe this is one of the problems. We don't know. We're not on the inside, right? Unless one of us has the phone number of one of the All Blacks and can ring them up and ask them if that's the truth, we don't know. It's as simple as that. We're rugby fans making assumptions all the time. That's what we are. Sino, I have a good day, Mark. I'm off to dinner. I feel like I've been watching... I may have met you watching in rugby in Hong Kong some years back. Possible. I've been watching rugby in Hong Kong sevens a number of times. So maybe we met. Thank you for your contribution today and have a nice dinner. Andrew, go South Africa. Yes, well done. Congratulations. Brilliant performance. Thank you for waking us up. There's a player missing in that back line, Rahana, brilliant player. Okay. Colin says, I would also love to see the Pumas win the URC, and I'm a Boks supporter. Good man. Good man. Phoenix, Clark at centre, strong carrying and getting over the advantage line. Just need to work on his distribution, playmaking skills. Yep, I'm up for that, Phoenix. I think that could be a possible solution. What about 12? Put him in at 12, put Geordie at fullback. Then we have a Bundy Arki type guy in at 12. I'd like to see that. Alvin Moore. I think you were on the Gold Coast, Alvin, if I remember right. I thought Tupou Vaya is a problem for the All Blacks. It's not the way he plays, but it's his attitude. I didn't like his chirping every time the Boks got penalised. Yeah, Alvin, I tell you what, I bet you... Tupou Vaya is not smirking anymore. That's a fact. Cameron says, Steve Hansen should stop talking jabs at Razor and his coaching team as well and be humble enough to go out and give some advice and help New Zealand get back to their glory days. Yeah, there's a few like that, isn't there, Cameron? There's a few on the peripheral that are quick to make comments. They get on the bandwagon when things are going well, and then when things go wrong, they're the first to throw punches. And that's a little bit unfortunate. That's human nature, though, isn't it? We get that in every nationality, not just in Kiwis. Mornay, do you go often at the beaches in Mexico? I've heard of their famous beaches. Yes, they have some beautiful beaches here, Mornay. Very beautiful. All around Mexico, not just here where I live. Very nice beaches. If you're a beachy person, this is a good place to come. Vaima 49 Aston. It's kind of good we lost a real good look at ourselves. As painful it is, I feel it gives us a chance to regroup and assess where we're at as a team. 100%. Thank you for that comment. I think that's very mature and also very humble, because it is a good chance. Sometimes when you have your worst possible moments in life, it's a great opportunity to start again, isn't it? Dushan Mark, although there was an initial game plan by the All Blacks, they still should be good enough to adapt regardless who was replaced. They need to show more care about the black jersey. Yep, good points. They didn't adapt, did they, in that second half? Yeah, and they didn't, perhaps they didn't honour the jersey enough either for the liking of some of us, right? RE basketball news. Who was your man of the match? Damien Willemse was my man of the match. Absolutely brilliant. But there was a lot of good players on the field today, and that's this man of the match thing is a bit annoying, really, isn't it? You know, because come on, there's lots of good players on the field. Sean, think it's time for Ruben Love to get a start at 10 with Lester and Clark on the wing, or even centre, even Rico back at 13. Sean, you were doing so well until you got up to Rico. I'm joking. Yes, Ruben Love at 10. I've been saying that in my videos, and I've also been saying that I'd like to see Lester Fainganuku, and I'd like to see Caleb Clark at centre or 12. Maybe that could be the answer for the All Blacks. Imagine having a Bundyaki style of player at 12. That could be Caleb Clark, right? Monster R. New Zealand to be the best in the world again. Razor has to go. Joe Schmidt has to come as new coach assisted. Don't think that's going to happen, my friend. But thank you for putting it out there. Cameron K says, I remember that 57-0, and all that did was wake up the giant in the box. If this loss doesn't wake up the All Blacks to win the next World Cup, it's never going to happen. 2 years away to the Rugby World Cup. Plenty of things are going to happen in the world of rugby between now and then, my friends. So stay tuned. We still don't know what's going to happen in 2 weeks' time at Eden Park and in South Africa. So the Rugby World Cup's a long way away. Yeah, the All Blacks scrum was disappointing, wasn't it? So was the line-out. Terrible in the second half. Pierre, agree with you both on self-reflection after a loss. Part of the box strategy was to humble Etzebeth and Pollard a bit. Complacency is dangerous. It is. Yep. You see it in a lot of sport, don't you? Complacency being very dangerous. It's happened for years. Chris Lloyd says, at this rate, Justin Marshall will be our number 9 again. He was asked yesterday by Matt Pearce and Shimmy if he was going to put the jersey on for the All Blacks again. In joking, of course. Cameron says, the All Blacks lost their mana. They showed no grit, no fight. They lost their mongrel. When their heads dropped, the leaders disappeared. Yeah. Disappointing by Scott Barrett. I thought he played good last week, Scott Barrett, but maybe that was just the Eden Park hype and all the rest of it. And this week, couldn't back it up. Dushan, that's 2 losses in 24. We dare not lose the Bledisloe, or there will be calls for assistant coaches to be axed. Something similar happened with Fozzie. 2 losses in 2025, Dilshan, yep. Argentina away, and now the box at home. And maybe there's more to come. Maybe. Who knows? Anthony, welcome to the chat. There were ref mistakes at Eden Park, but the fact we lost was not his fault. We were horrible. Everything went right for us in the second half. It was unreal to watch. ABs will be back. Nice comment, Anthony. Thank you for making that. Yes, I think that's a realistic view of the proceedings. And let's hope the All Blacks are back. They need to learn from this. I'm sure they will be. Okay, folks, I'm going to call it quits in another 10 minutes. So get your last comments in and questions and everything. I'll call this one off after 3 hours. I hope I've answered as much as I can for you all. Cameron says, I'm telling you now, the Aussies are beating the New Zealanders at Eden Park. They will win the Bledisloe Cup back. Just watch. I think it's going to be a fantastically exciting game. Cameron, no doubt about it. Pierre, responding a bit late to a previous point, but it would be super match to make a Southern Hemisphere dream team taking on the Norths. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I would absolutely love that. South Africa, New Zealand, Australia, and Argentina against the best the North can give us, right? Wouldn't that be fantastic? I'd pay money to go and see that. The All Blacks will always be the team the world wants to beat, but how long will that last before South Africa is the team to beat? Right now, the Boks are the team, but nobody sleeps on the All Blacks. Yeah. Well, maybe, I keep saying it, don't I, in all my videos, that the transition in world rugby is well and truly underway. And, go back to the quarterfinals of the Rugby World Cup in 23. We started to see it happening there. 1 point, 2 points, 3 points here and there between the top teams. That's all it takes, right? So I think if you get complacent against any of the top teams, you're in trouble. Not just New Zealand, South Africa. France humbled the All Blacks last year. Ireland have humbled the All Blacks recently. Everybody's humbled the All Blacks recently. Is it Australia's turn in 2 weeks? Oh, my Lord. That's going to happen. Cameron K says, everyone says they will learn, but come one, what have they really learned? That they keep making the same mistakes after every loss. They learn nothing. Yeah, hard one to say, isn't it? Well, I'll have a close look at the press conference of Razor and Scott Barrett before I make my debrief video. We'll see what comments they make. That'll be interesting to hear. Syrup ZZ004 says, maybe Razor needs some better assistance. They don't have any international experience. You can just take super experience and put it internationals. Can anyone help him now? Yeah. A lot of focus tonight in the chat about Razor's assistance. It's interesting to see. Dilshan, during the AB media interviews, the coaching used the word learnings quite generously. How many losses is it going to take for the players and coaches to learn? Well, they use the word care for each other a lot as well, don't they, Dilshan? Did they care for each other tonight in that second half? Didn't see much caring going on. So maybe they need to change their vocabulary. Pierre, Ireland used to be team you used to gain points difference. Why are they now? Where are they now? Major force, yes. Still coming back to praying for development exposure in Fiji. Yes, I want to see Fiji rugby up there as well. We've got some of the best athletes in the world that are not showing their full potential in that rugby team of Fiji, and it super frustrates me. I'd like to see Joe Schmidt to go to Fiji after he's done with the Wallabies. That's the guy to turn Fiji around. That Kiwi guy, Mr. Brown, didn't help our cause. Haha, always been a fan of Tony Brown. He helped your cause. Cameron says, please watch the press conference. It really made me angry. Scott gave scripted answers. He takes no responsibility, and I know Razor is protecting him. But come on, it's time for leadership change. I will watch the press conference, Cameron, I promise you. And I'll make reference to it in my debrief video of this game that I put out in the next 24 hours. Sounds like there's something interesting to watch there. Okay, 7 minutes to go, everyone. Put your last comments, thoughts. Have you enjoyed yourself today with the rugby across the world? What are you going to watch next? What are you going to do in the 2 weeks that we've got before the next games? Who's going to win the Women's World Cup? Any Los Pumas fans on the call that went to the game? Let me know. Mikael, welcome. Fantastic to have you here. Thank you. Cameron, hope the Black Ferns get some revenge. It's our only hope today, isn't it, Cameron? Our only hope today. But let's hope it's a brilliant game. Jonathan Adams, you made a message. Oh, no, you took your message away. Okay. Maybe you're going to think about it. Pierre, lots of good cricket, women's rugby, UFC coming up, and work, of course. Okay. Don't forget the World Athletics Championship starts today, Pierre, in Tokyo, Japan. I'll be tuning in 9 minutes to watch that for the day and some rugby. And then if you're a triathlon supporter, you'll be watching the World Ironman Championship finals from Nice in France. That's on tomorrow or tonight if you live over this part of the world. Chris Lord says Argentina have been trending up for years. They are solid, only a matter of time for them. They can be World Cup winners. Yes, Chris. Vamos los Pumas. Come on. I think I'm going to have a black silver fern flag and a Argentina flag at the next Rugby World Cup. Thank you, sir, for all your analysis and opinions, all things rugby. Go the All Blacks and go Counties. Yes, Counties, Manukau. You're welcome, Aston. Thank you for joining. Bigro, thank you. Thank you for contributing as well. Jonathan, here's your comment. Join from South Africa. If there is an AB tour of next year, maybe they should include a women's team. Yeah, why not? That's a good idea. I like that. That would be a really good idea. Pierre, yes, Chris, agreed. And they play such an exciting, well-rounded brand of rugby. They do, Argentina. They've got a good set of forwards now, and they've got an exciting backline that can match anybody in world rugby, including the South Africans. You watch what's coming. Mark my words. Mark my words. It's been a great chat today. 3 hours. Wow. I'm awake still. It's been tremendous. Thank you, everyone, for contributing. It's been really good to hear all your views after the game. I haven't done these before after a game live, so I just threw it out there today as an idea to see whether or not you were interested in having a chat after the game when all the emotions are there and we've got all the adrenaline pumping through our veins. So if you enjoy doing this, then I'm happy to do it for more games. And don't forget, I've got a Tuesday show going live as well where we talk everything rugby. Chris Lord, how sad is it there's no rugby championship next year? This All Blacks result is embarrassing considering we have a tour of South Africa next year instead of rugby championship. Yeah, we've got to look forward to the tours though, Chris. It's going to be exciting in South Africa. Pierre, thanks, Mark. I'm going to head out. Been following you since 2023. Fantastic, Pierre. Thank you for supporting my channel. Appreciate it. And thank you for your contribution today. And Tuesday, yes, every Tuesday now we're going to be doing a live stream show talking rugby in general. So lots of things that we can talk about, not just the championship. See you there, Pierre. Have a good time in Papua New Guinea. Chris Lord, I think it's disrespectful to Argentina and Australia personally. Yeah, but Chris, why don't we have an Argentina tour to Australia? Right? Play 3 test matches in Australia, play against the Super Rugby teams for midweek games, continue to increase the profile of the game in Australia, give Argentina more international competition. That's what we need. These tours are good. And it's up to the other teams to organise tours as well. Phoenix, thoroughly enjoyed your analysis, Mark. Wish the Rugby Championship was longer. Hope you get some good rest. Thank you, Phoenix. I appreciate you being here. And yes, I'll get some rest soon for sure. Okay. JB100. Hi, guys. Box were awesome tonight, and I think Razor and his team are out of their depth. Well, okay. The Box were awesome tonight, that's for sure. let's see what we all think of Razor in the next couple of days, right? Let's focus on the team of black jerseys that didn't perform in the second half. That's where we might start the conversation. Okay, everyone, I'm going to close up now. Thank you very much for joining. It's been a huge amount of fun for me. I hope you've had a good time on the chat today. And well done to everybody in South Africa. Before I close up, I just want to say this in closing, that congratulations on your great win. It was a fantastic game of rugby by your team in the second half. I'm glad for all the South African fans, for Russie, for Tony Brown, and all of the coaching team in South Africa. This is a huge moment in South Africa rugby. For Matt Pearce and Shimmy and all the other great ambassadors of the game through SuperSport and through all the other channels that are discussing our great game, thank you for your contributions, your humility and your sportsmanship. And thank you for visiting our beautiful country called New Zealand, Aotearoa, and have a safe trip back home to your beautiful country. And we will be back to see you next year with the greatest rivalry tour. So enjoy your victory. It's well deserved. Have a drink for me. And I'll see you all next time on Inside Rugby with Mark. Watch out for my videos coming out on today's games. I'll give you in-depth analysis and thoughts once I've had a little bit of sleep. Enjoy the rest of your day.